It's time for Church's Chicken Thursday Night Lights. Presented by Baptist Emergency Hospital. Now, here's Don Harris.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Church's Chicken Thursday Night Lights. Tonight, it just keeps getting better. We've got the Steele Knights playing the number 1 team in San Antonio, 5th ranked in the state of Texas, and tonight they take on the O'Connor Panthers. I'm Don Harris, along with my good friend Chuck McIntyre. And Chuck, the big story tonight, not only that we've got a great matchup, but we've had some tough weather leading up to the ball game.
You know, Don, I was thinking when I was driving up here about 4:45 and the skies had kind of emptied, if we're in a drought situation, why don't we just go ahead and schedule Steele and O'Connor every year? Because last year at this time, it was coming down in buckets and it was sideways. Steele ended up winning a close game 10-3. But again, they played that game in a deluge last year. Thankfully, the skies have cleared, at least for the time being. We've had a little bit of a delay because of lightning, but it looks like we're going to be able to get some football in tonight.
That's why we're on at 7:30 instead of 7 o'clock. Let's go down to the field for our ASCO game time weather. Nobody knows more about it than Mike Hernandez. He joins us live with the very latest. Mike?
Hey, guys. Yeah, it's all about the weather, and it has been for the last hour and a half. As you mentioned, it delayed the game a good 30 minutes because the way it works is once lightning is indicated, there's a 30-minute delay. It has to be within 6 miles, but after that, there's a 30-minute delay. That happened a little after 6:30, so they didn't get a chance to warm up. Matter of fact, they weren't even letting people in the stands till then. So if things have quieted down, we continue to keep an eye on the radar. Still maybe 1 or 2 shots at some showers or thunderstorms early in the evening. We hope not. But other than that, I tell you what has happened is those rains have cooled the temperatures. It's great out here in the mid-70s right now. The winds are out of the east, running at about 5 to 8 miles an hour. It was a little muggy, but now with the winds picking up, starting to feel even better that way. So great news, great night for football, and if we can hold the rain off, we're going to have a great game.
All right, thanks, Mike. There's actually 2 kinds of lightning tonight. There's the weather, and then there's the Steele Knights. Athletes all over the field on offense. But, Chuck, we want to talk about defense right here. It all starts with Mark Jackson, their big commit to Texas A&M.
It really does. They've got speed, though, at every single position on the defensive side of the football. This might be the best defensive team in the entire state. And, again, you're right. Big Mark Jackson, it starts with him. 11 sacks a season ago, 4 forced fumbles. This young man is a force to be reckoned with, and you know the O'Connor Panthers know that.
Yeah, David Molesky's got a great program there over at O'Connor. He's hoping to be a top 5 team in the state. He says we got to beat good people to be there, and for him it starts with his running back, Javonte Edwards.
They've got really good people, does O'Connor, on the skill side of the football, and of course it all starts with Javonte Edwards. He's already off to a blazing start to the season, had 20 touches a week ago. This is their bell cow on their offense. They've gotten really good quarterbacking play also to start the season, although, you know, the 1-1 record, it's reflective of the fact that this O'Connor team, infinitely young, they expect this ball club to be really good and really clicking when they start zone play a little bit later in the season.
We're going to see 2 of the top programs in town, one of the top teams in the entire state of Texas if the weather holds off. When we come back, we'll have our Church's Chicken keys to the game. You're watching Church's Chicken Thursday Night Lights.
Tonight's broadcast in high definition is brought to you by the Law Office of Ramon Cervantes.
Welcome back to Church's Chicken Thursday Night Lights. We're live at Ferris Stadium on San Antonio's north side, where tonight we've got the Steele Knights against the O'Connor Panthers. Time now for our Church's Chicken keys to the game. And Chuck, we start with those Knights from Cibolo Schertz.
Well, last year, Don, Steele did not take care of the ball in this matchup. They fumbled the ball 3 times in the red zone. So first thing they want to do tonight, make sure they protect the football. Secondly, expect the unexpected. They know Coach Molesky on the O'Connor side loves the gadget plays, so they have to be ready for anything in this ballgame. And then lastly, play all 4 quarters. Steele's had 2 blowouts. Their starters haven't played an entire game yet. So if they have to be that way tonight, they want to be ready for it.
Here's their coach, Scott Lenoff.
Good football team. You know, they scored, I think, 49 and 60 points in the last 2 weeks, and that type of offensive production is always going to get your attention. And you know, we big up front, lots of weapons. 2 quarterbacks that are doing a great job of distributing the football, and defensively they'll come around. I know Coach Malesko have them coached up this week, and they'll do a good job.
Chuck, the O'Connor Panthers, one of the top programs in town, even though they're the underdog tonight. What are their keys?
Well, firstly, they want to make sure they prevent the explosive plays. I mean, they are really worried about Steele's all-around speed. Secondly, control the football. If they're moving the football, that means Steele's offense is not on the field. And then, of course, the big one tonight is going to be do not turn the ball over against these guys.
Here's Coach David Malesko.
I don't think especially in today's game of football, the way it is gotten, I don't think we're going to stop these guys. One of the biggest things that we've talked about and that we need to do is try to prevent the one touchdown play, the big long pass, the big long run. We kind of feel like if we can force them to try to control the football and move the football down the field, that we still have opportunities to create turnovers or to have negative plays on their part. And so that's one of our biggest goals right there is to try to prevent the one touchdown play. And then also our offense, if our offense can keep the football and move the chains, then that's going to help keep them on the sidelines. So that's going to help us defensively as well.
They are 2 of the best programs in all of San Antonio. The Steele Knights, as we said, ranked 5th in the state of Texas. You're going to see tomorrow's college football stars tonight at Ferris Stadium. The kickoff from Steele and O'Connor, and our Dixie Flag National Anthem straight ahead on Church's Chicken Thursday Night Lights on the CW35.
Captioning of tonight's game is brought to you by Air to Recovery.
Natives are getting restless, man. Got it. Welcome back to Church's Chicken Thursday Night Lights. It is time now for our Dixie Flag National Anthem. Let's turn it over to our public address announcer, Calvin Buckholz.
Now at midfield is the color guard from the Texas 20,082nd Air Force Junior Reserve Officer Training Corps Cadet Wing of Sandra Day O'Connor High School. Bearing the U.S. flag is Cadet Major Madison Cox. Bearing the Texas flag is Cadet Captain Nicholas Shriver. Guarding the U.S. flag is Cadet Captain Paige Wallace, and guarding the Texas flag is Cadet Captain Wesley Smith. If you have not already done so, please rise and remove your hats to honor America and its men and women who have made the ultimate sacrifice along with those currently serving in our United States Armed Forces. Also, as tomorrow marks the anniversary of the attack of America, September 11th, 2001, let us observe a moment of silence to remember and honor all of the lives lost on that fateful day. The national anthem for this evening's game will be played by the Sandra Day O'Connor High School Panther Band under the direction of Roland Sandoval.
All right, after almost a half-hour delay, we're about ready for some football on this Thursday night from Dub Ferris Stadium. As we said off the top, this is a couple of the best programs in the San Antonio area. You know the Steele Knights, very traditionally a state power. Always, it seems, in the state semifinals, if not the state final. And there's our head coach, Scott Lenoff, who's trying to fire up his guys as they're ready to go. These two teams played a year ago, and as Chuck mentioned in the top, it was a sloppy game in the weather, and Steele may have been looking ahead. They had a huge matchup with DeSoto the week after that, and it was only a 10-3 football game.
Yeah, I mean, as we said, there was plenty of turnovers in that football game, and I think, honestly, both teams played as well as could be expected considering how hard it was raining that night. No lightning, so they played right through it, and it was quite a deluge that they had to try to circumvent their way through. And again, we saw a little of that tonight. We were driving up. It was raining really, really hard when we got here, but right now, clear skies. The track looks great. Tremendous facilities here at Dub Ferris Stadium, and we're looking forward to a great ball game tonight, Don.
All right, we're about ready to kick it off. There's our official, Gerald Green. He's joined by the umpire, Jared Higdon. Danny Villalobos is the head linesman. The line judge is Robert Bally, and the back judge is Gerald Woodruff. And the Steele Knights are going to return it. They'll have the first shot at it. It's always fun to watch the very electric Bryson Denley. He is one of the kids that is already committed to go to the Texas Tech and follow Mike Jinks, who used to coach the Steele program. He has got speed to burn. They call him a running back, but really he lines up at the wide receiver spot most of the night. And doing the kicking for the O'Connor Panthers is Michael Lissy. So here we go with our Sears first half kickoff. They're not going to kick it deep. Steele will take it right there at about the 30. And getting outside is C.J. Williams. He's another guy with speed to burn. Another guy's got D1 offers and interest. And may have a penalty flag already. There you're looking at the
from the Steele 32-yard
starting
line.
lineup. We got Xavier Martin. He's only a junior, but he's already got interest and basically already pledged his commitment to Texas Tech as well. As you can see on the season, he's 25 of 33 for 345 yards, 4 touchdowns, and no interceptions. And Chuck, this is an offense that has outscored its opponents 94-14 in the first 2 games.
Yeah, the coaching staff was telling me, you look at Xavier Martin's ridiculous numbers throwing the football. He hasn't even had to run yet. And there's been plenty of opportunity that he's been able to, you know, maybe tuck the ball and run, but he stayed back, tried to make the most of his passing situation. So when this kid has an opportunity to show off both of these things, I think we're really going to be on to something here at Steele High School.
All right, so there was a penalty on the return, so Steele will take over at the 26, maybe the 27-yard line, and that's where Xavier Martin, much in the mold of Tommy Armstrong and the quarterbacks that they've had, early turns and hands it to his running back, Travell Lumpkin, and just like that, he's got 9 yards.
It's going to be interesting, Don, to see this Steele program, because I know the coaching staff was talking about the big guys up front. That's where they're most inexperienced, but as we've said time and time at Steele, they don't, they just reload around there.
Keep your eye on Zach Blevins, the tackle. He's their best player up on the offensive line. As Martin looks, fires deep, got a man, and it's caught at the 20 and down to the 15 is C.J. Williams. And just like that, we told you lightning might strike and it might not be through the weather. A 49-yard gain.
Coach Molesky was talking about the playability that Steele has, and here we are, second play of the ball game. An absolute strike right on the money, and Steele's on the move early.
That's a Toe Juice first down. Toe Juice, the ultimate skincare solution. 1st and 10 inside the red zone. 11 minutes to play, full house backfield from Martin, turns, keeps, gets to the 20, gets to the 10, shows a little speed before he dances out of bounds. Balin Padilla forcing him out. Chuck, let's take a look at the O'Connor defensive front. Logan Cornwell, linebacker, in there with Austin Wynn. They'll do most of the tackling, and this O'Connor defense has a lot of size as well, and also good speed on both sides of the ball. We look at the secondary there, Jose Medina, Balin Padilla, Steven Charo, one of the other guys there, as Lumpkin takes it to the 5, driving. Touchdown, Steele Knights, just like that. 10:52 to play in the first quarter, and already the Knights are on the board. Travell Lumpkin taking it in for pay dirt.
And really, Don, we've seen a couple on these runs already. It's right up the middle. I mean, nice little jitter step there at the point where he got the football, and then once he's contacted, he's moving forward, and he's into the end zone, and up and down the field goes Steele, first drive of the ball game.
Angel Vasquez's extra point is good. The Steele Knights lead the O'Connor Panthers 7-0 here on Church's Chicken Thursday Night Lights. Welcome back to Ferris Stadium. Let's head down to the sideline. Mike Hernandez standing by. Mike.
All right, guys, you are so unlucky for having to be up there while I'm down here with all the chicken. Church's Chicken, again, our proud sponsor. And this is Victoria, and she's a spokesperson for Church's. How you doing?
I'm doing great.
All
great.
right.
How are you?
You are going to do great at this job if you keep bringing food with you. Okay, tell us about what's cooking tonight.
So these are our chicken and biscuit bites. We have a great deal going on. There are eight Tender Crunchers with 4 biscuits for $3.49.
Cool.
Yes.
What's this right here? What's that?
These are the biscuit bites.
Those are biscuit bites.
Yes.
Oh.
They're great.
I don't know what to taste first. Okay, you said there was another deal that you had for 7 something?
Yes. So for our families, it'd be a great way to celebrate our victory. We have a deal going on for $7.99, and that's 10 legs or thighs, or 10 all white meat chicken tenders, and you can make it a meal for only $7 more, and that adds two sides and 4 biscuits.
Excellent. All right. Well, thank you, Victoria, and thank you for bringing the food. Hang on, I'm going to hold on to this. Guys, I'm going to eat this for you because I know you're busy.
Golly, jealousy up here in the booth. Wow. Chuck, we missed the chicken.
We did, but we didn't miss Caden Stearns going down there and making a really big tackle on special teams.
Oh.
And just speed, and more speed on the Steele side of the football.
Caden Stearns has offer from Texas Tech after his freshman year. He's only a sophomore, number 2, if the name sounds familiar. His brother, number 2, Jordan Stearns, was an electric player at Steele who now starts at safety for Oklahoma State. All right. The Panthers want to go to the air first and foremost on the very first play. They air it out, and it's incomplete as Clayton Maxwell's pass was well guarded. He was looking for Millard Bradford, but kind of a little bit of a miscommunication through it to the outside shoulder. When you look at this offensive line, keep your eye on Bannon Brown. That is one big boy. Brandon Brown is only a freshman. He's, what, 275 pounds, Chuck?
I think 10 more than that, brother.
285, and he's a freshman as the screen pass goes incomplete. His brother, Balin Brown, starts at Texas Tech. He's been a 3-year starter for the Red Raiders. His older brother was a star at O'Connor and is on their coaching staff now. Looking at the Steele defense, of course, we talked about Mark Jackson, the Texas A&M signee. Jaden Jackson, the linebacker, also very, very good. And Caden Stearns, only a sophomore. As I said, the brother of Jordan Stearns. And we've got a wide open guy to the near side. Across the 40 and out at the 44-yard line is Trey Patterson after a nice throw and catch by Clayton Maxwell. 17 yards on the pickup.
Yeah, and I like what O'Connor's doing here early. I mean, they're throwing caution to the wind. I mean, that's 3 straight passes to begin this ball game. Get your young quarterback here a little loose. And Maxwell's done a really nice job this year, completing passes and not turning the ball over. He's been doing a solid job.
It's a Gold's Gym first down for the O'Connor Panthers, and got a little movement, flags fly. They hand the ball off, and going up the middle is Jamonte Edwards. We talked about him on the open. Let's listen into Gerald Green. Tries to sort it all out.
Offside, defense, 5-yard penalty, first down.
All right, so miscue by the Steele defense, and the O'Connor Panthers have new life nearing midfield. Their quarterback, Clayton Maxwell, his dad's on the coaching staff here at O'Connor. Been very solid this year early in the season. He rolls to his right, being chased by Mark Jackson, who gets there but too late, but the ball's intercepted. The Steele Knights have taken over, and what an athletic play by the Steele Knights secondary. Jackson, as you're looking on your screen, had the pressure, got to Maxwell just as he threw it, but a couple of defensive backs were back there. Let's see who made the interception. You can see the speed of Jackson and why he's a big-time D1 recruit. Sanchez was the guy who picked it off. Actually, it's number 3. That's Isaiah Fields, yeah.
He did a really nice job, too. I mean, closed on the ball, and then it was just like he was in the NFL. He got 2 feet down, possessed the ball. Big league play on both ends right there by the Steele Knights.
So Steele takes over, and Xavier Martin, who was so impressive on that first throw of the ball game for him. Chuck, they've had some great players come through Steele, and this young man might be the next in line. They turn and hand it off, and gain of 8 on the play. Travell Lumpkin has run for 112 and 3 touchdowns coming into tonight's game. Gets 8.5 on that one.
Yeah, but you're right about Xavier Martin. I mean, they've had some great quarterbacks, obviously. Tommy Armstrong at Nebraska, L.G. Williams, but this young man's getting his first sniff at the varsity level, and we're going to be talking him up all night because the coaches really like what they see from this young man early on in his high school career.
Another fastball to the outside. That's to Antoine Cox-Wesley, and Cox-Wesley has a first down. Atticus Martinez there to make the stop. And Chuck, I tell you, what you're impressed with right off the bat is this kid's throwing darts.
He is, and he's got a short stroke. You know, there's not a lot of wasted movement in his arm throw. I mean, he drops back, sets his feet, and the ball is away. I mean, that's precision passing right there.
It's another Gold's Gym first down for Martin, who hands to Lumpkin. Great little Barry Sanders-like sidestep, but the O'Connor defense there to snuff it out. Big Caleb Williams in on the tackle.
David Gutierrez too, and that's exactly what Coach Molesky was talking about. He said there's no way you can take one thing away from these guys. They're so good. We've got to have 11 hats on the ball at all times.
Second down 10. Martin fakes, keeps himself, tries to go backwards. He's still on his feet. He's to the 40s, gets outside to the 35 and out of bounds at about the 30-yard line. Atticus Martinez with the force out. Chuck, I thought his knee may have touched down way back here, but what an athletic play by Xavier.
You're not kidding. I mean, look at that. I mean, stopped on a dime. What balance. Did you see that?
Unbelievable.
Like a tripod. Got the hand down, got himself right, and ended up turning it into a positive. That was outstanding.
You want to hurry up and go?
O'Connor, that's their first of the half.
O'Connor will take timeout, and so will we right now with 8:22 to go in the first quarter. Steele's moving the football. They lead it 7-0.
No, he's not.
Welcome back to Ferris Stadium. Steele leads O'Connor 7-0, and we can tell you about our San Antonio Sports All-Star Cheer Challenge, powered by CPS Energy. It's underway. 4 local high school cheer squads will win the opportunity to cheer at the San Antonio Sports High School All-Star Football Game on Saturday, January 9th. Cheer sponsors and administrators can register your squad by visiting cw35.tv. Third down as Lumpkin takes it. He's got the first down and more. Gets outside, inside the 30-yard line. They like Lumpkin. We hear about Denley a lot, but Lumpkin was their leading rusher coming into this game with 3 touchdowns on the season and 112 yards on 14 carries. He's just a junior, so they just reload there at Steele, and it looked like C.J. Williams was a little out of the chute early. So that'll back him up a bit. Still be first down for Steele. And Chuck, you just kind of like the pace at which this offense plays. They snap it quick and are ready to go. Xavier Martin throws to the near side, got it in the hands of Denley. Denley with a spin move, down back inside the 30, near the 27. Caleb Williams there again to make the stop.
Yeah, Jose Medina too, also doing a really nice job jumping out there. I mean, there's so many things to contend with if you're O'Connor when Steele just lines up all this speed and comes at you. And, you know, again, a lot of these skill guys have a lot of experience, too.
2nd down and 10 for Martin. Straight drop, fires a fastball, got a slant, got a guy down to the 5-yard line. That's Antoine Cox-Wesley. And again, Chuck, after a 23-yard gain, you just see the speed on that fastball.
Just impressive. I mean, this is just textbook football. You got a guy running a slant, 2 players that are right there to try to cover it, but the ball's away so quickly and the route was so precisely run, not to mention the throw, it's tough to stop.
Diving for the pylon is Lumpkin, and the linesman says touchdown Steele. What a play inside the Toe Juice red zone, and inside the end zone is Travell Lumpkin for his 2nd score of the night.
Individual effort, Don. Look at this. I mean, takes a hit in the backfield, lunges, and wow, gets the left hand out there and hits the pylon.
Wow, Superman taking flight right there. The extra point is up, and it's good by Angel Vasquez. And Steele now leads 14-0, 7:09 to go in the first quarter. You're watching Church's Chicken Thursday Night Lights.
Superman say, oh.
Welcome back to Church's Chicken Thursday Night Lights as the Steele Knights lead the Panthers 14-0. And I hear Mike Hernandez. Mike Hernandez, he's got that chicken in him. He's ready to go.
Do I have any chicken in my teeth? I'm sorry, guys. I'll send you up some chicken real soon. Hey, I've got the Steele band director here. This is Stephen Dieter. How are you, sir?
Pretty good. How are you?
235 kids. You said something like that?
Only 235 this year.
That's amazing. Congratulations on keeping them all together and going all in the same direction.
Thank you.
That's a quest in itself. So you've got some deal going on with Royal Cards.
That's our show this year. Yeah.
Tell us about that.
The show is entitled Royals. It's all based on the Royal cards of the playing card deck. So the first movement is diamonds, the second movement is clubs, and then hearts, and then spades. And tonight we're going to be performing the diamonds, first part of the show.
So we're looking for different diamonds.
Diamond shapes all over the place.
All over the place.
Yes.
Excellent, excellent. All right, well, you're getting ready for any competitions?
Yes, we have 4 competitions in October, so basically every Saturday in October.
Local? Are they all local here?
We're going to Austin for one of them, and the other 3 are pretty much local.
Wow. Well, good luck to you.
Thank you very much.
Look forward to seeing the diamonds and hearing you all play.
All right, thank you.
All right, back to you guys.
All right, thanks a lot, Mike. And again, on that kick return, we again saw the athletic ability of young Caden Stearns, a sophomore, number 2 for the Steele Knights, who got down with a couple of teammates down there and laid another big hit. You see Maxwell on the bench. That means in at quarterback is Roel Sanchez. He keeps, and he is drilled by Mark Jackson. And hello, welcome, Gig'em, Texas A&M, hullabaloo right there.
Yeah, Roel Sanchez is just a sophomore. He gives them a little more speed at that position. But both of these quarterbacks that we're going to see tonight for O'Connor, like we said, they've done a really good job of not turning the ball over this season. And again, what great exposure for this super young O'Connor team to see a team like a Steele Knights ball club, 5th in the state. And this is going to build some character here as we go on towards the end of the season here.
All right, so it's 2nd down and 14. We've got movement again as flags fly. Passes underthrown and incomplete, but let's see what happened on the penalty. Looks like it's going to be offsides against Steele. Gerald Green heading up our crew tonight.
Side, defense.
So it'll be the 2nd down after the 5-yard penalty. Make it manageable now at about 2nd and 8 for David Molesky's offense. Sanchez has thrown a touchdown. He's 12 of 17 on the year with 217 yards. He's also ran the football for 112 yards on 24 attempts. So he's run for a score this year, thrown for 1. Very capable young man, number 15. Hands on a draw. Jackson misses with the arm tackle, but Jamonte Edwards doesn't have far to go because of that Steele defense converging on him.
Yeah, Jaden Jackson. You know, some of these guys for Steele, they're not the biggest kids on the planet, but what happens, Don, they're so fast that holes that you think are there don't stay open very long. I mean, look at this. That looked like that could go, and then 34 gets a mitten there, slows him up a little bit, and then there's three of his teammates there to clean things up. I mean, these guys are just super fun to watch.
3rd down and 10. Sanchez with a straight drop. He's pressured. He's running for his life, and he's taken down back near the line of scrimmage. Number 21, Jaden Jackson there, the junior, making 2 plays in a row.
Yeah, Quincy Williams, too, 34. That's the 2nd time in a row we've called his number, but look at this. I mean, this is a big guy, defensive lineman here. Look at the closing speed from these guys up front. It's not fair.
Not fair at all. So the O'Connor Panthers will have to punt it away, and it's Jackson that's back to return it. So he was all over the place, a little sideways sidewinder. Jackson catches it at the 35-yard line, and that's where the Knights will take over. Actually, that was Caden Stearns with the return. Now you're looking at our UIW Smile Cam. O'Connor cheerleaders out on a Thursday night. You can earn a degree of difference at the University of Incarnate Word. Proud sponsors of Smile Cam here on Thursday Night Lights.
Don, just to give you kind of an example of what we're talking about with O'Connor, their first game against Reagan, they ran out 14 new starters. 14 of them. 7 of them were sophomores and a freshman. And then on defense, only 2 kids returning from last year's squad.
And on the return, or the reverse rather, it's C.J. Williams, and seems like they get 9 every time on first down for the first play of their drive. They pick up 9 there, and a little sweep to C.J., another one of those guys who's highly recruited. Chuck, we're talking about a dozen kids here before it's all said and done. We could end up playing Division I football.
Yeah, maybe more.
Inside handoff, good play by the O'Connor defense. 57 was there. Marcus Guerra there, make the tackle on Lumpkin.
Yeah, Blake Noah in there as well. It's a good stand inside there by the big fellas up front for O'Connor.
So it's now 3rd and less than 1 for Xavier Martin. Keep it himself, little sweep to the left side, gets the first down and more, crosses midfield, and the sticks will move for the Steele offense. Balin Padilla there with the tackle.
Again, this is another thing that we really haven't seen a whole lot of this year from Xavier. He's really worked on his passing early on in this season. And when they start whipping out all the dimensions that this kid can bring to the table, look out, it's already scary.
Flags fly, we had movement on the Steele offense, so that'll back him up. And we'll have to do it all over again with 1st and 15. Yeah, when you start talking about L.G. Williams and Tommy Armstrong and the legacy of quarterbacks that they have there, and then you hear from Scott Lenoff that this kid could be as good as any of them, Malcolm Brown included. He's just a junior. He's already pledged to Texas Tech, and he's dual threat. We've seen him throw it and run it. Throws it this time, intended but incomplete for C.J. Williams, and another good throw, maybe a little bit behind him. Good coverage by the O'Connor secondary.
Oh man, was it ever. I mean, they had 3 or 4 young men around the football that time, and that's exactly what Coach Molesky wants to see every time Steele drops back and passes the football. Really good underneath coverage there by Noah Collins. He had a lot of help. And have to see some more of that. Outstanding defensive play here for O'Connor.
Watch the bottom of your screen. He's got his speed guys there. Martin throws to this side, and perhaps there early was the defender, and it was a bang play. Jose Medina and C.J. Williams with the intended receiver, and I think they got it right. I think the contact was made just before the ball arrived, but it was close.
Defensive pass interference. 15-yard penalty. 1st down.
Talk about these officials. They do such a good job seeing this live. We're going to get a benefit of replay. And the contact, it was so close.
Boy, was it ever.
I mean, it's like tie goes to the runner in your sport, Chuck.
Yeah.
It was that close.
And Caleb Williams, too, is going to go unnoticed, 33, but did a nice job staying in his lane to force the throw.
Here's Dinley. He's gone. Bryson Dinley to the 5. Touchdown, Steele Knights. And just like that, a 39-yard touchdown run. You just never know when that young man is going to break loose, and he did it with 2:55 to play here in the first.
Well, they're going to throw it at you, and then they're going to come back, and man, look at the ceiling blocks. And then the speed to burn.
Bryson Denley, his 4th touchdown on the year. The extra point up and good, and Steele leads it by a score of 21-0. Bryson Denley, another one of those guys that Mike Jinks has corralled to go to Texas Tech. And when he put his foot in the ground and made that cut, it was all over.
We got a nice kick out block there from Nathan Collard, senior offensive lineman, 250 pounds, clearing the way. And the explosive play capability of these Steele Knights on display for sure on that particular play.
They love to throw it to him as well. He's got speed. He reminds you of the Stearns and Stockton kids that have played here before, about the same size, speed to burn. He's feeling his oats right now. Look at him. He's got some swag going on tonight. He's confident, and he's firing his team up. Bryson Denley, a senior who played so well a year ago for the Steele Knights, who, as I said, coming in number 5 in the state of Texas. Before the game, Scott Lenoff told us, you know what? You never know with injuries. You never know what happened in 2010 when we had Malcolm Brown and Tommy Armstrong and went all the way. He said we had 11 guys. If any one of those guys would have gotten hurt, we'd have been in big trouble. But he goes, this team's deep. This might be our year. Looks like it tonight.
Well, it's hard to argue with what you're seeing on the football field. As good as we saw Judson last week, these guys are looking pretty impressive as well.
Frank Hauser with the little pop-up kick, and it's caught down right at the 43 by Jose Medina. Gives us time to go back down to the sidelines, and Mike Hernandez.
I just wanted to give you guys a little weather update since it has been an issue. Right now, I'm just looking at the radar, and it is showing a few showers and a few isolated thunderstorms between Bandera and Lake Hills. But right now, it looks like they're weakening. Other than that, and there's a few storms off to the east in the northeast part of the city right now. Things have quieted down dramatically. So unless we get a really significant change, I think we're good for the rest of the night. We're just going to enjoy this nice, cool fall weather now and have a great football game.
How good is Mike Hernandez? He's on the sidelines, and he's got the radar on his phone, and he's still a great weatherman. Doesn't have the access to all the Doppler 9 million.
He's infinitely the most valuable guy on the sideline tonight for us.
Right there on his phone, he's got these. He knows the storms are between Bandera and Lake Hills. Look at that. Impressive. Carry by Brandon Bradford there. Clayton Maxwell back in at quarterback. A little jet sweep coming this way. Out of bounds, short of the 50.
How about a Mon Woods 36 on that play, Don? Got a guy trying to block him up, and he's holding the edge, and he ends up making the play.
Jalen Hughes on the carry, and you're right, they just strung it out all the way to the sideline. Will force O'Connor into a 3rd and about 6. 2:16 to play here in the first quarter. If you're just joining us, you see the score. The Steele Knights up on O'Connor 21-0 here in the first. Team that's averaging about 46 points a game in the first 2 weeks. Maxwell wants to throw it, goes deep, got single man coverage on the outside, and wrestling the ball for completion, and a heck of a grab is number 5 for the O'Connor Panthers. That's Millard Bradford. And what an athletic play to go up and get it.
Indeed it was, and what a great throw by Maxwell too. Dropping back, sets his feet, lays it up, lets his guy make a play.
Nice job, tough catch by Bradford.
Indeed, I mean, you got all the positioning in the world to go up and make that play.
Isaiah Fields all over him, and he still caught it as Maxwell fakes on the play action, wants to throw it again to this side, and this time he just overshoots his intended receiver. That time it was Jonathan Tapia that he had his eyes on.
Great coverage downfield too as well by Mark Frankhauser. Stride for stride with the receivers. We take another look at the replay though. Nice battle there for the ball.
Very impressive effort by both players. Bradford coming down with it.
Yeah, and O'Connor needed that. Maybe kickstart their offense a little bit.
And you know what that means, Chuck? We're at the 20, which means it's back inside the Toe Juice red zone. Toe Juice, the ultimate skincare solution. A lot of people asking me about Toe Juice. It's this new product you put on your cracked feet. You got bad skin, you got athlete's foot and all that stuff, put that Toe Juice on there. It's a miracle.
Yeah, put it on your face too, like me. You got cracks on your face. It seals it all up.
Maxwell keeps it inside the 10-yard or the 15-yard line down to the 14.
Nice tough running inside by the young man.
Jack Ivory, the linebacker there. Maxwell's a little undersized, but not when it comes to heart and not when it comes to throwing the football. That throw he made earlier on this drive. Just put up there, let his guy go make a play. Smart, heady quarterback. 14 of 21 coming into the night.
When he talked about Dad being on the staff, he talked to his dad, Greg, before the game. He said, there's no doubt he knows more about football than I do.
Right young man, inside handoff, and breaking through was Brandon Bradford before he was brought down by the Steele defense.
He gets his toughness from his mama. She's a principal.
Oh, yeah, you don't want to mess with them.
That's what I'm talking about.
So they roll the clock. They're going to have a stoppage in play. No, they're just saying they're going to keep it rolling. They didn't want to take a timeout. Just wanted to regroup offensively, did Maxwell. Inside of 25 seconds now. Trips right from Maxwell, who looks left, throws it out of the backfield, got a man to the 10, runs over a man at the 5-yard line. That was number 7. Brandon Bradford is running back coming out of the backfield. And O'Connor is on the move here at the end of the first quarter.
Yeah, good catch, and then really Amon Woods making another really good play. Not easy when a big load's coming right at you, but he held his own and waited for reinforcements.
O'Connor comes in with their jumbo package.
They're going to get this off.
They get it off right at the snap of the end of the quarter, and the Steele defense is there to end the quarter right at the 7-yard line. Bradford not picking up much, but the O'Connor Panthers are on the move. They'll have 3rd down when we come back. It's the end of the first quarter. So far, it's been all Steele, 21-0, but look out. Here come the Panthers when we come back. Welcome back to Ferris Stadium. The Steele Knights lead the O'Connor Panthers 21-0. Don Harris and Chuck McIntyre with you. Time for our Wilkes Air Conditioning and Heating first quarter highlights. The first quarter was dominated by the running backs of the Steele Knights. That's Lumpkin with the first 2 touchdowns of the game. Travell Lumpkin made it 14-0. And then we saw the speed of Mr. Outside. Bryson Denley taking this one to the house. It was 21-0. O'Connor has since driven down the field, and they've got 2nd down and 6. 2nd down and goal from the 6 for Maxwell, who keeps it himself, gets to the 3, pushed back to about the 4 where he's brought down. It'll be 3rd down. An interesting play call here for the O'Connor coaching staff.
You're trying to run a little tight end over there in motion and maybe get Steele going the other way, but they were there to make the stop.
First quarter dominated by Steele, 200 yards almost to 70, 9 first downs to 3, and all that despite being penalized 5 times for 25 yards. 3rd and goal. Clayton Maxwell is your quarterback. Jamonte Edwards is in the ball game as Maxwell scrambles for his life, and he's dragged down by Mark Jackson and others at the 5-yard line, and that'll set up 4th down. And you can see why Texas A&M is so high on number 42. He's not giant, but he is strong and he is lightning quick.
And this is what Coach Molesky also talked about, trying to stay on your blocks as long as you can. With the speed of Steele, if you're not on point, they're going to be able to absorb a lot of the stuff that you're trying to do.
O'Connor's.
It's very rare, Don, that you see one guy around the football.
They're going to go for it here on 4th down. Fire to the outside. Got a man. Caught. Touchdown, Panthers. Jonathan Tapia with a great catch off an even better throw from Maxwell, who got him on the out route.
They're rolling the bones for this young O'Connor team. Look at this. Maxwell steps into it, but a great route by Tapia to get some separation away from the DB, and great pitch and catch gets O'Connor on the scoreboard.
Gotta like Maxwell just sets his feet and flings it and lets it fly. Michael Lission to attempt the extra point. It's up and it's good. And the Panthers are 2 touchdowns away. It's 21-7, and we've got ourselves a football game here at Ferris Stadium. Steele 21, O'Connor 7 on Church's Chicken Thursday Night Lights.
Seconds away. 30 seconds away. Coming right up to you. Just give me the key. I got one of those. I love
All right, guys, welcome back. I've got Billy Neal. You remember him from last week and from Go Financial Services. This gentleman is also the owner of this institution that actually does our Scholar Athlete program. I'm getting a feedback right here. Anyway, thank you for doing that. I appreciate it. Why are you guys getting involved in something like this?
You know, we just think that it's important for us to continue to give back to the community. You know, Scholar Athletes, you know, they're doing great in school. I think they deserve an opportunity to be able to get into college, and you know, the education is so important, not just the sports. The sports part's a blast, but the education's important as well. So we want to continue to give back to make sure that these kids are, you know, hopefully going to school right down the street at UTSA.
Which I see you're wearing the UTSA colors there, big guy.
I am wearing the little UTSA colors. You know, we're also one of the athletic sponsorships for UTSA as well. And we're building another scholarship program for them. You guys can find us in Lot B. We'll be out there tailgating against Kansas State. So we're really excited about that game and what we're doing with them.
Well, Go Financial Services, thank you so much.
Mike, thank you guys.
We really appreciate it. And you make a difference in young kids' lives, and that's really special.
And that's what we're looking to do, so we appreciate it, Mike.
All righty.
All right, take care, guys.
Back to you guys.
And O'Connor getting a little tricky with the onside kick, but it we either didn't even go 10 yards or the Steele Knights recovered it, not getting a clear indication from our crew. Illegal touching. Yeah, I thought the kicker touched it twice before it went 10 yards.
Let's take a look.
He knows he didn't get enough of it, so he says, you know what's going to go 10.
You're playing hacky sack. He hit it 3 times.
He got it 3 times at least.
That's good. That's what Coach Lenoff was telling us, though, man. Molesky, he loves him some gadget plays and trick plays, onside kicks, fake punts. You name it. You have to be ready for everything when you're playing O'Connor.
I like the fact he went for it on 4th down there.
Sure.
That was awesome. All right. Steele Knights take over at midfield. Xavier Martin, a young star quarterback, straight drop, looks to this side, still looking, and now he's going to take off and slide down at the 40-yard line. And even though it's only a pickup of about 7, you can see his burst of speed and just how the game slows down for him. He stands back there with all the confidence in the world, patient, because he knows he's got another gear that a lot of guys don't have.
Yeah, he's really going to be tough to tackle in space.
2nd down and 4. He hands it to Lumpkin, who tries to get outside and does to the 40, inside the 35, taken out near the sideline marker by Noah Collins. And that's good enough for a Gold's Gym 1st down. Talked a lot about Bryson Denley, but So far tonight, Travell Lumpkin's got 2 touchdowns. Came into this game with 112 yards and 3 touchdowns. So he's got 5 on the season and seems to be their go-to guy, especially for tough yards. Got him again. He's breaking it to the outside. He's to the 20. He's to the 10. Touchdown, Steele Knights. Lumpkin's got his 3rd score of the game, and it's a 35-yarder.
Is there anything that we're not going to see from these guys tonight?
Wow.
Look at the kick-out block. I mean, just unbelievable seal blocking at the point of attack.
Got to give the big guys credit up front, as just like that, the Knights have made it another 3-touchdown game. Angel Vasquez comes on to kick the extra point, but not before a few flags fly in the end zone.
Substitution.
So that'll force.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's a little tougher when you have to move up closer on an extra point. Sometimes those guys want a little more room.
Have you ever tried to kick a football? Brother, they're all tough.
But Vasquez makes it look easy enough, and now we have a flag fly after the play. Let's see what Gerald Green calls here.
That's good.
Instead, we hear the conversation between Green and the water girl. Here you go.
Everybody getting FaceTime on TNO.
It's 28-7, Steele over O'Connor, 9:32 to play in the first half.
Nice block, Tyler Sellers.
Welcome back to Church's Chicken Thursday Night Lights. You're looking at Travell Lumpkin, who is the star of the game right now. That drive took just 3 plays. He has a 35-yard touchdown. Drive went 47 yards and only took a minute 2. And Lumpkin on the night has 9 carries, 78 yards, 3 touchdowns to go with the 3 he had coming into the night's ball game. So even me, Chuck, with our Northeast School District math, know that that's 6 touchdowns on the year.
I'm impressed.
Yeah, 3 plus 3. Don't call me no dummy.
It's big ups from last year, bro.
There's another pooch kick from the Steele Knights, taken at the 23-yard line, coming this way to the 25, and then stopped right there in their tracks. Whistles blow, and the Knights celebrate another great play on special teams. And O'Connor will look to kind of rekindle some of that magic that they had on their last drive. You're looking right now at the San Antonio Sports All-Star Cheer Challenge. Told you earlier, you can now register San Antonio Sports and CW35, bringing you the CPS Energy Cheer Challenge. 4 local high school cheer squads will win the chance to cheer at the game that we'll have the call. San Antonio Sports High School All-Star Game. It's Saturday, January 9th. Just go to CW35.tv and register your squad. Mark Jackson got a running start from the left defensive end spot, but he was drawn offside.
Offense. 5-yard penalty. First down.
I don't blame him. I would have moved too. Doesn't 42 remind you of Jefferson from Fast Times at Ridgemont High? Jefferson. I mean, it's hard to take your eyes off the kid.
Yeah, just a fantastic athlete. Forrest Whitaker, I do believe, played that role. Showing our age now.
Again.
Inside handoff.
All right, good tough running, huh?
Tough running, back to the original line of scrimmage.
Dragging some Knights, yeah, for 2 or 3 extra yards there. But you know, you're talking to Coach Molesky this week, Don. He's looking at this very tough non-district schedule as a total blessing, believe it or not. I mean, he knows they've got a pretty good team here in the making. He's seen some flashes. And when this squad gets its feet underneath him, he knows it's going to pay big dividends in zone play. I mean, he'd love for his squad to be more consistent, but he understands this is part of the process. It's just part of the deal at this point in the season. And at least in the early stages, there's a lot of things that he feels like he's seeing that's a positive that's going to really help him out later on down in the year.
It doesn't cost you anything to play the Steele Knights except maybe a little pride, because it doesn't count against your district schedule.
Right.
And if you want to be one of the, last team standing in the playoffs, you're going to have to face people like this.
Well, and he's already said, I mean, he knows he's got a young team, and he can show his team, look, this is what great teams look like. And if you want to be like that, you got to play like that.
So we've got to delay a game on O'Connor. They're going backwards right now. It's going to set up 2nd down and 15. Sanchez in at quarterback now. Molesky played for D.W. Rutledge and Frank Arnold back in the early 80s when they went back-to-back a long way. They beat Churchill in the city championship game in '83 and lost to Beaumont Westbrook. And the next year with legendary Chris Pryor, won the first state championship in Judson's history with that '84 team. D.W. Rutledge was the linebackers coach to Frank Arnold, and that was where the Judson dynasty got started. And David Molesky, whose dad was a legendary coach here at San Antonio, back with Holmes back in the day, has built a fine program in his 6th season here coaching the Panthers. Not just a winning record, they're a playoff team just about every season. 7:52 and counting here in the first half. 3rd down and 13. And they're going to run the little draw, and Steele's defense there to squash it right back at the original yard marker, and so the Panthers will have to punt it away.
Did you see how quickly 42 got back there? I mean, it was great. They ran a little trap away from him, but I mean, it's just unbelievable how talented that young man really, really is.
It looks like he's running 100 meters in the Olympics the way he gets out of the blocks.
That's like Techno Ball, like you got Bo Jackson and you're just, you know, doing your thing.
He's the 2nd man inside right there. He's coming after the kick, and there's the punt. Stearns waits for it, takes a hop back towards the O'Connor side, will be out at the 45-yard line, and Xavier Martin right there will take over at the 45.
Yeah, Logan Cornwell did a good job just getting his hands on that ball. It was a low snap, so a little difficult to, you know, reach down, field the snap, and then have to run and go kick it.
Let's head down to the sidelines, and Mike Hernandez tells us what's coming up at halftime.
All right, Roland Sandoval here is the band director for the Panthers, and you guys are going to be doing something kind of different today, something to do with movies, right?
Yeah, we're doing a wonderful show called Access Denied, and it's got a lot of movie-driven music behind it, and it's everything that you would think of with those 2 words. So blockades, barricades, security breaches. It's got music from Pirates of the Caribbean and Adele's Skyfall and Angels and Demons. So it's going to be, we feel like it's really entertaining and makes different crowd connection.
Yeah, Access Denied.
Yes, sir.
Did you come up with this yourself?
Oh, you know, our staff does an incredible job of trying to come up with something that the kids will like, the audience will enjoy, and that also will be, you know, educational at the same time.
Yeah, we're looking forward to see them move around and see if I can pick out what barricade they're working with.
I appreciate it. Thank
you, sir. Appreciate it. Looking forward to it.
Thanks, Mike, and he's done it again. Xavier Martin with a completion of 22 yards to Antoine Cox Wesley, a little pump and go, and Wesley was open, and Martin put it right on the money again. Just some fantastic athletes out here for the Steele Knights, and 1st down inside the Toe Juice red zone. But we've got another penalty. This time it's going to be on O'Connor. That was the early indication.
Illegal substitute. Defense. Penalty. 1st down.
O'Connor couldn't get the right package they wanted out there in time. Martin is 5 for 6 on the night with 112 yards. Very accurate. Only missed once tonight. He's got Denley in the backfield with him. Keeps himself. Martin to the 10, Martin to the 5, dives to the 4, and he's tackled by a host of Panthers right there. Blake Noah in on the tackle.
Our man Logan Cornwell once again doing a nice job staying in his lane and holding his gap. I'm telling you, when Xavier gets out in space, Even Coach Lenoff said, you will not find many human beings faster than that young man right there. I mean, it's a lot to contend with when he gets out there and he's got you in his sights.
I think the only guy in the field who can catch him might be Lumpkin, and he's his teammate. First and goal, Martin throws the fade to the back corner, and it was almost brought in by Cox Wesley, but just out of his reach. Nice throw, nice effort. Second down and goal.
Jose Medina out there trying to cover and doing a nice job, making sure that if that ball was going to be caught, it was going to be caught out of bounds.
Martin gets the play called in from Scott Lenoff's staff. He's got Denley to his right, and he keeps it himself. And great job by the O'Connor defense to smell that one out. Stop at his track. 4 Panthers in there, including Caleb Williams, 33, who's been all over the place tonight.
Yeah. Taking the read out of the read option right there. I mean, reading by Braille. Getting some fingers in on that, some hands and everything else. There were 4 or 5 Panthers right there that read that absolutely beautifully.
We're listening to our band director from O'Connor. Access denied.
That's what I'm talking about. A taste of that at halftime.
28-7, Steele leads it. We're under 5 minutes to play here in the half. Third down and goal now. And Lenoff is waiting. I don't know if he's going to take a timeout. He does. Scott Lenoff taking the timeout there. Got an interesting decision to make here.
Steele.
When in doubt, I'd say 30 is not a bad choice. He's got 3 touchdowns tonight already.
Well, gives us a little chance more to talk about Xavier Martin. And again, Don, the raw tools, as I think people have seen tonight already, they are just completely off the charts. He can really run. We've seen that in open space. You can see what he does there. And he's got a really strong arm. We've seen that as well. But, you know, Coach says he really probably needs to work on some things mechanically at this point, but he's so young and so new to the spot that he says the one thing that really impresses me, actually there's a bunch of things that impress me about the young man, is that each and every day you can see that the young man is making huge strides, even on the practice field. So it's like the more you give him, the more he absorbs, and then the more he then takes out onto the field with him. But you know, we talked about the great quarterbacks at this school. This kid's got a chance to be as good, or maybe, who knows, maybe he'll end up even better than Tommy or LG. But I mean, just you can see, you know, you add the speed and the arm strength and everything else, and then you look at the litany of great players that have suited up for both of these guys.
It's not like saying he's as good as somebody who's come out of our program.
Right.
I mean, these guys are just active starters or second-string guys in Power 5 conferences. Armstrong starts at Nebraska. Stearns and Simmons are Big 12 first team all defense. Stockton's played at Texas Tech, and then for O'Connor, they've got some studs too. Big Balin Brown, a 3-year starter at Texas Tech. Gonna throw a little fastball in the slant. I tell you what, he hit his man right between the numbers, and Cox Williams just couldn't bring it in, Cox Wesley. But we talked about his fastball. That one was so fast it went off the shoulder pad.
Well, and then you see another attribute that Coach Lenoff really likes, and he says this young man, talking about Xavier, is really, really decisive. May not always make the right reads at this point in his high school career, but he loves the fact that he's decisive and is unafraid to make a decision. He goes, that's part of the problem with learning how to play the position as we watch the field go away. And it's good, is that, you know, if you're indecisive and somebody's pressuring you, then, you know, something bad's going to happen. We can live with the fact if something bad happens if you're decisive, and that young man to this point is pulling that off.
Well, there was no indecision on that slant throw. It was right on the money, but just had too much mustard on it. Went off the shoulder pad. But Angel Vasquez adds 3 more, and Steele now leads 31-7. 4 minutes to play here in the first half, and they're going to be flirting again with half 100. They put up 49 in week 1 and 45 in week 2, I do believe. And this is a team that's only given up 14 points on the season, 94-14. Their combined score through week 2. Have trying to do the math here, Chuck. 94 and 31. 125 to 21. Look at that.
So we got leaps here, man. John King.
You got that calculator app on your phone.
Shut up, man. What stays off camera is supposed to remain off camera, okay?
A little pooch kick again from the Steele special teams, and this time it's taken right at the 28-yard line and brought down to Trey Patterson right there. And the O'Connor Panthers will try to put it in the end zone one more time before halftime. Take a look at Steele's schedule. There's the scores we talked about. Madison's no slouch. They, as I said, almost hung half 100 on them, 49-14. Then they went down to Laredo and played United, had a shutout. They're up 31-7 here, and the next week another huge game with a national power. I mean, DeSoto and Steele. Right now, Steele's number 5 in the state. DeSoto's always in the top 3. So that'll be another state showdown. They played last year in Waco at Baylor Stadium. Next week's at Belton. They're breaking free, though, for the O'Connor Panthers. And what a move by Jamonte Edwards down inside the 50 to the 45. That's a pickup of 26 yards. And, Chuck, that's the flash that Molesky loves to see. And not surprisingly, we had Mark Jackson, who ran him all the way down in the second.
Yeah, I was curious to see where he started on that play as we go up tempo.
Maxwell sacked. Jack Ivory, or J.C. Ivory back there for the Steele defense.
Yeah, that's rough city, Don. I mean, you take your 2 or 3 step drop back and there's somebody on you. I think Maxwell did a really nice job just holding on to that football. I mean, live to fight another play. He's still got a shot at this thing with plenty of time here in the first half, but sets his feet ready to throw, and there's just not a whole lot you can do about that.
3:27 left. Maxwell, your quarterback for the Panthers. 2 split left, but now coming in motion to the near side. As Maxwell looks to throw it, he's got Jackson out there forcing him, and he finally unloads it. It's completed. Nice job of not crossing the line of scrimmage. Millard Bradford there with the catch.
Yeah, really, Don. That's 2 plays in a row for Clayton Maxwell. I mean, you got to like that. I mean, the kid's getting pressured, and where are his eyes? 2 plays in a row. They're right down the field. Everybody's thinking, oh, he's going to run, but he's still looking where can he dump off the football and finds his man in the flat.
So after the big loss, it's still 3rd down and about 14 for the Panthers. And Maxwell, strong side left, looking right all the way, got a man, throws it, puts it on the money, caught out of bounds. Great throw by Maxwell. Tapia catches it right at the 25-yard line, a 21-yard gain. As Caden Stearns there to force it out, but not before. Another first down, and here we go, 2:35 to go, and the Panthers want to score.
A really good job out there on the left side by Mark Palacios, holding his block on 42. It was textbook, giving his quarterback all kinds of time to throw that football.
It's a Gold's Gym first down for Maxwell. Going to fly to the right side again. Got a man caught. Let's see what the linesman calls. There's a flag that goes down, but did he score?
I thought he did.
Millard Bradford caught the ball. The linesman on the near side threw a flag. It might be pass interference on the offense if he didn't signal touchdown.
I don't know that you could have thrown a better ball than Maxwell just did, though. I mean, 2 defenders right there.
Gerald Green talked it over. Let's see where the call is.
Ineligible, downfield, offense, defensive pass interference, offset, replay first.
So they had an ineligible receiver in the formation and defensive pass interference. I thought it was a touchdown because I saw the defensive pass interference, but I did not know about the ineligible, and took away a touchdown from a great throw and a great catch by those 2 young men.
You're not kidding.
I'll tell you what, I'm impressed with this Maxwell kid.
Yep. He's put a lot of throws right on the button tonight. Going to give him a free play.
And he's not afraid of 42, which I would be.
Yeah. Right, he's not running around up here in the second floor of the press box. I'll tell you what, that is a man-sized football player down there at 42.
Outside. Defense. Yard penalty. First down.
He's good enough as it is without the head start. Another offsides call against Steele. And you look at Jackson right there. The Aggies got him coming. He was a district MVP a year ago as a junior. Last year he had 55 tackles and 11 sacks and 4 forced fumbles. Maxwell rolls right and he's going to keep it himself. Oh, nice what block. A crackback block. As we're in the Vantage College red zone. And nice block by the receiver coming back.
Yeah. Millard Bradford helping out his QB, but again, a really nice job by Maxwell, kind of feeling the pressure from the left side and then, getting himself out in some space and extending the play.
Yeah, he's really undersized, but he makes up for it with a good arm, a quick decision, delivery, and some athletic ability. All right, we got a timeout on the field. Steele will take the timeout. O'Connor looking to score before half, 2:22 to play in the second quarter. We'll take the timeout. We're coming back on Church's Chicken Thursday Night Lights. Welcome back to Church's Chicken Thursday Night Lights, and you're looking at the smiling faces of the O'Connor Panthers. They got a lot of reason to be smiling for. They're moving down the field. Smile Cam brought to you by the University of the Incarnate Word. Earn a degree of difference at UIW. Maxwell takes a snap, inside handoff. Inside the 15 is Javante Edwards. And Chuck, we talked to their coaching staff. Javante was headed for stardom last year. 2 huge games to start the season, then he tore his ACL. He's off to another good start this year as a senior, but kind of a wasted season a year ago, and he's done a great job to fight back and get that knee healthy to play. Maxwell fires over the middle. He's got a tight end, threads the needle, but it's just over the outstretched hands of Michael Kerfis, his tight end. Of course, if you remember Stephen Kerfis, he played at UTSA after a career at O'Connor. Michael's his younger brother. Stephen was a great linebacker at UTSA.
Teron Morris with a really good job covering, and that was one of the concerns for Coach Lenoff coming into this game. He knows how much O'Connor likes to use their tight end and find their tight ends in pressure situations. Steele was up for the challenge on that one.
All right, here we go, 3rd and 5. They went for it on 4th down last time, hoping not to have to do that this time. Throws the ball, caught, touchdown. Another great throw. Jonathan Tapia again on the receiving end of a pass from Maxwell. And the Panthers get some momentum going into the break. And Maxwell just makes another really good decision, Chad.
Yeah, and it's the same play. Same play as last time, and go find your newcomer of the year on the baseball team. Junior stepping up and making a play, and has been in the end zone twice.
Works once, why not go back to it? Kick is up, kick is good. We've got ourselves a 31-14 ball game, and I say get some momentum going into the half. We still got 1:43 to go here, and Steele can score, taking up about 3 of that if you're not careful.
When we talk about all the great athletes O'Connor has on their football team, and their baseball team has been rock solid here for quite a number of years.
Let's tell you what's coming up on our Alamo Cycleplex halftime show. We're going to first hear from the Steele Marching Band and then the Panthers Marching Band. And don't forget, you'll hear from our Gold Financial Services Scholar Athletes of the Week. And I can tell you that one of them you're seeing on the football field tonight. Jonathan Tapia, his 2nd touchdown of the game, that time a 10-yard reception. The drive went 9 plays and 67 yards and took 239.
Hey, it's Chris Carter.
What's interesting about this game is no one is kicking it to a receiver who can return it. It's Pooch Central or onside or 3 onsides on 1.
Yeah, I think it's respect for the other team's athlete.
Absolutely. And I don't think we'll see him kick it away here.
I'd like to see him give us another one of those onside kicks. What the heck?
A little soccer action. 1:43 to go. Steele will have one more crack at it. And This little pooch kick that's going to be taken right at the 20 by Williams. CJ to the 25, and watch out, he's fast. CJ across the 40. And Xavier Martin will have a minute 34 to go, about 48 yards. Lots of football coming up for you. Of course, the NFL season kicked off tonight on News 4 San Antonio, and we've got the Cowboys and Giants, the season opener for Jerry Jones and company, also on News 4 San Antonio on NBC's Sunday Night Football. 1st and 10 for Martin. Throws it over here to the near side and to the 45, across the 45 to the 50, and across the 50 is Brendan Brady.
Gotta like the work that the Steele wide receivers do on the outside, holding blocks. They're out there working hard for their guy.
Yeah, and this is where you'll see the job that Linhoff does. Such a great coach with time management. 1 minute and 9 seconds to go. Although penalties are killing the Steele Knights tonight. They lead 31-14.
False start. Offense. 5-yard penalty. 2nd down.
But that's the kind of stuff that drives coaches crazy, because they've got their plays. They know what they want to do with 1:43 to left. They threw it in the flat. You want to keep the defense off balance. You want to go no huddle. You want to hurry. And then you have something like that happen, and all of a sudden you're put you a little bit of a hole.
You know, but I think part of that, Don, is you know, they've had 3 games where they've kind of gotten out in front, and the starters really haven't played a full game yet. So these guys are still trying to learn and get their rhythm as well.
Fastball to the outside. Outside for a ball to C.J. Williams.
Oh, and once again, great defense and good coverage there by David Gutierrez, 22, and Atticus Martinez also out there. Good zone play.
You gotta love the name Atticus. Anybody that names a kid after To Kill a Mockingbird, big fan. Williams, inside handoff. Lumpkin, he's already scored 3 times tonight. Across the 45, inside the 45, and we got 37 ticks left. They stopped the clock to move the chains. Martin gets a play call from the coaching staff. They'll go on the wind, and they do. We're now inside 29 seconds. 1st down. 45, Martin this side to Williams. Williams going to get out of bounds when he can, but first he cuts it up. Clock will run, and let's see if Linhoff wants a timeout, and he does. And by Williams staying inbounds, it forces Linhoff to call timeout. 19 seconds. I think he'd probably prefer the young man to step out, but they'll take it, regroup, and that's the last one. So Williams saw a seam. He thought he might have could have scored. That's why he didn't step out. But that's it. 19 seconds to go. No timeouts. And now it'll be interesting to see what Linhoff has up his sleeve.
Yeah, and if you're O'Connor, I mean, you've got to be very careful here, because obviously you want to keep everything in front of you, but you know, if they stretch you out and then send everybody to the end zone, you get somebody running across the middle of the field that's wide open. I mean, they've got the athlete that could take this to the house. So there's a lot on your plate if you're the defense of O'Connor here, to try to get to the locker room, keeping the score right where it's at.
So far tonight, we've seen him go to Cox Wesley quite a bit, the tall, lanky receiver, number 7. Wouldn't be surprised to see him try to hit him deep on a post. And then don't forget, early in the game, we saw a little dump off to Denley, who's lined up in the slot on the right-hand side. He's got Lumpkin in the backfield with him. I wouldn't be surprised to see Martin kind of dump it off on a screen. Straight drop, throwing the deep post to Cox Williams, who almost makes the catch. I'm probably glad that he didn't, because the clock may have run out there had he grabbed it. Zaire Taylor with the coverage, and now we've got 12 left.
You know, Don, for most kids that are throwing a football like that, I mean, to see the arm strength of this young man, I mean, he doesn't wind up, and it doesn't look like he's having to really use a lot of arm strength to get it there, and yet he's just really snapping it out there.
Throws it to the outside, and getting out of bounds is C.J. Williams with 6 seconds left, and they'll spot it right at the 24-yard line. It's also 3rd down and 4, maybe 1 shot left here. And again, this is where you've got trips left, and he's got Cox Wesley to his right in single coverage, and that's the tall receiver that he might be looking at here. Looks to his left, now goes back to Cox Wesley. He's got him caught, but he's not going to get out of bounds, and that's going to end the half. A nice throw and a good completion to Cox Wesley, but not having that other timeout to burn really hurts the Steele Knights as we end the half. They'll take a 31-14 lead into the locker room, and we'll go down to the sidelines and Mike Hernandez with David Molesky. But first, Molesky's got some questions for the officials, and that'll take us to halftime. Molesky's squad coming back, getting that late score, making it 31-14. He's got to like what he sees from his quarterback Maxwell. Let's go down to the field and Mike Hernandez. Mike.
All right, thank you guys. Coach, what'd you think of the first half? Nice stop there at the end and a nice drive late in the quarter.
It was. You know, our kids are showing a lot of grit tonight, and we started a little slow. Not real happy about that. But when you're playing a team like this, it's kind of hard to replicate that in practice. So, you know, our kids kind of settled down there in the second quarter and started playing better, and they're going to keep fighting.
Good, good. Well, good luck in the second half. Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
All right, thanks, Mike. David Molesky doing a great job with the O'Connor Panthers. And when we come back, we'll have our Alamo Cycleplex halftime show. Steele leads O'Connor. We're at the half on Church's Chicken Thursday Night Lights.
Welcome to the Alamo Cycleplex halftime show.
Welcome back to Church's Chicken Thursday Night Lights. Time for our halftime show brought to you by Alamo Cycleplex. And let's throw it down to the field for the Steele Knight Marching Band.
Assistants are William Daniel, Russell Larby, Stephanie West, Patrick Todd, Austin Townsend, Annalisa Rodriguez, and Conrad Reichenhausen. Guard instructors are Paul Rand and Sammy Rosado. Guard director is Linda Guerra. The band is under the field direction of Senior Head Drum Major Connor McAllister. Assistant drum majors are Jack Carter and Lauren Purdue. Guard captains are Ashley Teeley and Abby Newman. Tonight, the band will perform the first movement of their contest show, Royals, with music from Palladio by Carl Jenkins.
Great job by the Steele Marching Band to vote for the Steele Band for our Vulcan Materials Company band contest. Just text band 5 to 45203. That's band 5 without any spaces. And for complete texting guidelines, go to cw35.tv/TNL.
You're watching the Alamo Cycleplex Halftime Show.
And now, let's bring on the band. Taking the field is the 2015-16 O'Connor Panther Band. The band is under the field leadership of assistant drum majors J.J. Humamil, Catherine Dorr, and Irene Chu. They are under the baton of head drum major Michael Sevilla. Color guard captains are Clarissa Duncan and Cyan Cortez. The twirlers are Hannah Mendoza, Amanda Reyna, Hannah Catcher, and the feature twirler is Eileen Martinez. Tonight, the band performs the opening movement of their UIL competition show entitled Access Denied. The opener is called Restriction. The Panther Band is the recipient of 17 consecutive UIL sweepstakes honors, best in class honors at marching festivals, and 4 consecutive appearances at the UIL state marching competition. They are the reigning Area G champions. And now, the O'Connor High School Marching Band.
Nice job by the O'Connor Band. To vote for the O'Connor Panthers Band, text Band 6 to 45203. That's Band 6 without any spaces. For complete texting guidelines, go to the cw35.tv/TNL.
Cycleplex halftime show. You're watching the Alamo Cycleplex halftime show.
Let's get to really know this week's Scholar athletes.
Do you have a hidden talent we don't know about?
How about guilty pleasures?
Chocolate. I love chocolate more than anything.
I'm very good at fantasy football. That's probably my favorite thing to do outside of school.
I won't tell anybody, promise. This is Zach. He's from Steele High School, who in real life plays on the varsity football team and dreams of playing college ball. Which college? Not sure yet.
I would like to stay close to home in Texas, but anywhere I can get the most money, that's where I want to go.
Good answer. I'm sure his parents really appreciate that. Speaking of parents, his father has been a big influence on becoming the man he is today.
My dad is actually a minister, so I've grown up in the church my whole life, and it's helped me get through my life, knowing that God's there for me and that I have someone to rely on and talk to.
Values instilled in him through his dad and church has helped him pick a backup plan of helping others.
My true love is for the kids and just helping the kids, just be their mentor and their leaders and help them just get through life. That's just what I want to do.
Our Scholar athlete from O'Connor High School is Juliet. She's been playing soccer her entire life.
I actually started playing when I was 3, but at that stage I was just a little girl running around, talking and picking flowers.
That flower-picking little girl is now helping her team to a victory as captain.
I'm in charge of a lot of people now. There's about 60 girls in the class, so I'm in charge of getting everybody out on time, making sure they're all doing what they have to, pushing them their hardest.
Even though Juliet has a huge heart for dogs, her future plans involve helping people to become more comfortable in their skin.
I'm hoping to be a dermatologist one day. First, I want to do undergrad either at Stanford or University of Colorado, and then probably do med school at Colorado too.
Her tip for other student success, it's quite simple.
You have to push yourself. Don't do it for other people, do it for yourself. Like, you want to be proud of yourself.
Congrats to Juliet and Zachary.
Welcome back to Church's Chicken Thursday Night Lights. We're at the half of Steele and O'Connor. It's 31-14. The Steele Knights leading the O'Connor Panthers. Explosive plays in this game as we look at our Window Depot halftime highlights. So far it was all Lumpkin early. Travell Lumpkin scored the first 2 touchdowns of the game to give the Steele Knights a 14-0 lead, including the Superman dive. And then we saw the speed of the much talked about Texas Tech commit Bryson Denley, who went the distance there. O'Connor mounted a little comeback behind Maxwell, who threw to Johnny Tapia for a couple of touchdowns. Lumpkin breaking out for his 3rd TD score here, made it 28-7. Steele added a field goal to make it 31, but then back comes Maxwell again to his favorite receiver, Jonathan Tapia, and Clayton Maxwell has 2 touchdown passes, and the O'Connor Panthers are hanging in there as we take a look at our first half stats. It's Steele all through the air, Chuck, but you got to like David Molesky's crew fighting, hanging in there, and taking some punches early in the mouth, but not giving up by any means.
No, I mean, you're talking about the 5th-ranked team in the state, and who knows where Steele's going to end up by year's end. You've got a young O'Connor squad that really, hey, trading touchdowns with these guys the last couple of drives. So, again, we talk about the O'Connor Panthers. This is a really young team, and, this is going to be one of those games, Don, that no matter how it turns out, this will pay dividends down the road for a lot of different reasons.
Absolutely. They've got a tough district schedule. They want to think they're a playoff team, and when you get in the playoffs, you play good teams like these Steele Knights, and coaches see it differently than kids. Kids want to go, 10-0 in the regular season, and coaches look at it differently. You have to play people like this to grow up, and you might even schedule this game knowing it's probably going to be an L on the schedule, but at the same time, it's a teaching tool and it gets your team ready for what's most important, and that is the district schedule.
Oh, yeah. I mean, Coach Molesky says, you'd like to go into every year with 22 starters coming back, but obviously that's never going to be the case. And, it's not where you're at right now. That's the greatest part about the process in the early part of the season, but you've got to figure out who you are, and what better way to do it than playing one of the best teams around.
All right, it is time for our Sears second half kickoff. And this time it's the O'Connor Panthers who were back to receive. And again, we're playing pooch kick most of the night. Look at the speed of the Steele special teams unit getting down there to make the tackle at about the 34-yard line. And Maxwell will come on to lead the offense. But first, let's go down to the field. And Mike Hernandez, who can give us Scott Linoff's perspective at the half.
Yeah, I talked to him just now. He said that basically the defense, that was what he was most concerned with. They needed to settle down, become a little bit more disciplined, and end some of these penalties and just kind of relax. He said offensively, he says they don't think they can do anything much better. He said, but he was also concerned about O'Connor and their offensive ability. He says they're going to score more than 14 points. He says we're going to have to put more points on this scoreboard to win this game.
What a play by Mark Jackson. We've been calling his name all night, and you can see why he's the highest recruited player, not only on the field tonight, but in San Antonio as well, one of them. And he just comes off the edge, and he's been doing that all night long. 42, Mark Jackson.
Yeah, got to do a little better job than that, though. That's one guy you have to put somebody in front of. You can't allow him to come clean. Supposed to make that play. Of course he did.
Second down and 14. Jefferson.
That's right.
Little movement up front. Don't see any flags. Getting away from Jackson is Edwards, and Edwards showing a burst. Mark Frankhauser makes the tackle. 22-yard pickup and into Steele territory.
Jamonte Edwards. Look at this carry. Pops it back outside, and then, man, nice little juke step there, and gets himself about 10 more yards.
Sanchez throws over the middle. It's caught by the tight end, and he's submarined down there by Stearns. Stearns is going to limp off. Michael Kerfess, the tight end, with the reception, and Stearns is going to get up gingerly and run off. J.T. Woods also there. Hard to believe Stearns only a sophomore.
I was just thinking the exact same thing.
It's a Gold's Gym first down for Sanchez, who hands to Edwards, who busts it over the middle, and he takes a big shot at the end of that run. But not before he picks up about 7 on the play.
Yeah, seems to enjoy it. He just pops right back up.
Juan Henry with the tackle. Sanchez in at quarterback. Straight drop, looking over the middle. Now scrambles to his left. Going to fire the out, and it's incomplete off the hands of Tapia. O'Connor playing this 2-quarterback system tonight. Both guys have done a good job, and both guys have equal stats pretty much throughout the season coming into the night's ball game. Maxwell padding his with a couple of touchdown passes in the first half here tonight.
Wow, this is you know, again, we're talking about 2 or 3 straight drives now where O'Connor's been able to move this football. So you can kind of see, you know, young squad growing up before your very eyes.
Man in motion to the near side. They hand it to him on the jet sweep. 30, 20, inside the 20, still on his feet. Past the 15 to the 12. It's Trey Patterson. A 20-yard gain and into the Toe Juice red zone.
Yeah,
Toe Juice. The ultimate skincare solution. Sorry, Chuck.
No, that's okay. I was kind of curious how you're going to finish the Toe Juice thing. I mean, just great blocking up front, and you know, allowed that play to really materialize.
Another man in motion, fake the jet sweep. Sanchez keeps down to the 10. Juan Henry again with the tackle, and all of a sudden, don't look now, but a score here would make it a 10-point ball game, and things will get pretty interesting as O'Connor comes out with life here early in the third quarter.
Yeah, let's see if Steele can draw the line in the sand here and stop the O'Connor offense that now seems to have a little bit of a rhythm to it.
2nd down and 8. Sanchez hands inside. Edwards, tough running up the middle. Not going anywhere, though, as after the point of contact, the Steel Knight defense pushed him back. Josh Crossland among the guys there. Tell you what, I like 33. Teron Morris has been around a lot of footballs tonight.
Yes, indeed, he has. All right, O'Connor, let's see what you got. 31-14, 8:43 in the third quarter.
We know they're not afraid to roll the dice on 4th down if they have to.
There you go. Or onside kick if need be.
Patterson splits left out there with Bradford, number 5. Sanchez, though, looking this side to Tapia. Throws it to the near side to Kerfis. He's wrapped up right there and dragged down and wrestled down by the defender, number 21, Jaden Jackson. So that'll set up 4th down, and a field goal unit runs onto the field for Molesky. Michael Lissy will attempt one from the 16-yard line. It'll be a 26-yarder for Lissy. But remember, their quarterback Sanchez is holding, and anything's possible here with the quarterback as your holder. Snap is down, and it's on its way. It's up, and it's good from Michael Lissy. A 26-yard field goal cuts the lead to 31-17. So a nice opening drive by the O'Connor Panthers here in the third quarter. Church's Chicken Thursday Night Lights, our score. The Steel Knights 31, the O'Connor Panthers 17. We're back with more third quarter action after this.
Tonight's broadcast in high definition is brought to you by the law office of Ramon Cervantes.
Welcome back to Church's Chicken Thursday Night Lights, brought to you by Baptist Emergency Hospital. Steele leads O'Connor 31-17. We're 7:44 left in the third quarter. Coach David Molesky's team not giving up.
No, I think that's one thing we never have to worry about with a Molesky coach team. They're going to fight right to the last possible second.
Don Harrison, Chuck McIntyre along with you. Statistician extraordinaire Mark Lieberman up here in the booth. Mike Hernandez down on the sidelines. As we enjoy bringing you every Thursday night, Church's Chicken Thursday Night Lights. Live high school football in San Antonio, Texas, as the Steel Knights, who are ranked 5th in the state of Texas, take the ball over at the 35 and across the 35 to the 36, C.J. Williams. And here comes that man right there, Xavier Martin.
Thanks,
just a
Howard.
junior. Just a junior, and boy, with all the talent in the world, we've run down the legacy that he has at Steele that he follows at Steele behind guys like Tommy Armstrong, who's starting at Nebraska, L.G. Williams, Malcolm Brown, who's in the NFL with the Rams, and some great young players coming out of this Steele program. And they say he may be, before it's all said and done, as good as any of them. Lumpkin's got it to the outside. Lumpkin to the 50 across midfield and pushed out of bounds. Jose Medina with the tackle.
And that's how, Don, really, as you take a look at yet another big play from Steele, that's what the coach is really trying to impart on Xavier, is that he doesn't have to be L.G. Williams right now. Last year they needed L.G. Williams to win in football games. This team, infinitely more vast.
And that's Lumpkin on the carry again on first down and picks up about 5. Coming into this game, we heard so much about Bryson Denley, but Lumpkin making a case as a superstar himself tonight. 3 scores already on the night. He's over 100 yards as the quick slant to Denley, and Denley took a stutter step, didn't need to, and he turns on the Jetsies to the 5. Touchdown, Bryson Denley. He heard me. What do you mean we heard so much about Bryson Denley? 42-yard touchdown. Hear that, play-by-play guy.
You know, when you said turn on the Jets, I mean, I don't know that you could have described it any better, especially right here. I mean,
he had to come to a complete stop in that route to change direction. And another O'Connor Panther who was running full speed, he got up to full speed before that young man could catch him from behind. Just an amazing play by Bryson Denley. It's 37-17. There are athletes all over this football field. Stick around to see more of them. 6:55 to play here in the third on Church's Chicken Thursday Night Lights.
I want to give everybody a quick reminder to the cheer sponsors and school administrators that the San Antonio Sports All-Star Cheer Challenge that's powered by CPS is underway. Now, 4 local high school cheer squads are going to have an opportunity to win to cheer at the San Antonio Sports High School All-Star football game, and that's on January the 9th, which is a Saturday. All you have to do is visit cw35.tv and register your squad today.
All right, thanks, Mike.
You bet.
Steel Knights will kick it off to O'Connor, who looks to answer the bell again. I've been impressed with the O'Connor offense as well. The whole football team. You're talking about a team that could easily be ranked in the nation, in national rankings. Number 5 in the state of Texas, up from number 7 in the preseason. A relatively young football team with depth and talent at just about every position. Fair catch called for and taken at the 30, and that's where the Panthers will set up shop. Sanchez played the last possession, moved his team down the field. Maxwell's had a great game so far, and Clayton will lead him out there on the field this time. Maxwell 7 of 11 for 126 yards and 2 touchdowns. Sanchez has been more of a rusher tonight, just 2 for 4 throwing the football for 13 yards.
That's kind of what the process is at a lot of these high schools too, but you know, it's what they do at O'Connor. I mean, we talked about how young they are, but you know, they try to do a little bit of, you know, integrating the younger player to get their feet wet at the varsity level, and they're doing that again tonight.
Movement up front again as flags fly, and it's been a sloppily played game up front, mostly by the Steele defense, who've had a lot of offsides penalties tonight. And there's another one.
It's the old line, curb your enthusiasm, right? I mean, they're ready to go. They want to get off the ball, and they want to get after somebody, but I think it's starting to irritate their head coach a little bit.
I think he's getting after somebody. The Knights defense stout with Division I talent. Talked about Mark Jackson, 42, the defensive end on the near side. Chasing the quarterback here. Sanchez gets it away, and it's incomplete. That's right, as Maxwell running for his life.
Yeah, just great decision, though. I mean, he looked downfield. He didn't see anybody. Even his check down guy was well covered. So, again, you know, you don't have anybody open. Don't make it very ill-advised decision. Get rid of the football and live to fight another play. And he did just that.
Yeah, his dad told us pregame how smart he was, and boy, he's showing it tonight. Makes quick decisions, sets his feet, throws it when he's got a guy open, throws it away when he's not. Not afraid to stand in there with the big boys, too. Rolls out, throws this one out of bounds wisely, and he'll have another play to live. Third down, and see if they can convert here. O'Connor down 38-17, 6:17 to play here in the third quarter.
Yeah, it can be very hard to run any kind of read look when you're the quarterback with the speed of Steele. You know, you decide you're going to tuck it back and then throw it. And it's awful tough with these guys and their ability to run to the football.
The only way I'd be comfortable is being the shotgun about 20 yards.
That's what I'm talking about in punt formation.
It's 3rd and 5 for Steele. They've got trips left for Maxwell, who fakes the handoff, throws over the middle. It's caught, taking a shot from Jaden Jackson, but complete for a first down. On the catch is number 6, and that's Trey Patterson, and he did a great job of hanging in there and taking a shot.
Does it look like a sophomore? A sophomore making a play. Great hands, and then the ability to hold onto the football after absorbing the hit. Nicely done.
Good for a Gold's Gym first down as Maxwell loses it. Jackson falls on top of it, and Mark Jackson has himself another turnover on the season, and that was just bad exchange from the O'Connor offense. Mark Jackson was all over it, and just that zone read, and one of them thought you were taking it, I thought you had it, and lands right in the lap of Mark Jackson.
Yeah, it looked like he was about to do something we hadn't seen all year, and that's split himself in half and not only carry the ball carrier, but also the quarterback as well. I mean, just a great job of kind of reading that one all the way, and then got a little gift there at the end.
He's been one of the top players in San Antonio, Jackson has, since he was a sophomore. We said, he's only a sophomore? Well, he's not anymore. He's a senior, and he's headed to play for Kevin Sumlin. As Martin takes a straight drop, you'll see his ability to run the football. He cuts back, picks up about 4 before he's dragged down, and even a busted play goes for a positive game with that young man, as Mitchell Farmer there to make the tackle for the Panthers.
O'Connor still flying to the football too, trying to make it as hard as they can on this well-oiled, well-machined Steele offense. I think I just made up a word.
It's okay. Denley split left, but Lumpkin gets the carry, gets back to the line of scrimmage, and maybe picks up a yard. They are well-oiled, and they are well-machined, and they are a well-oiled machine.
There you go.
Doesn't need any more oil.
So you're having trouble with the math, and I'm having trouble with the words.
3rd down and 5, though, for Steele, as Martin throws to his right. He's got a man complete. That's Cox Wesley across the 30, and that's reminiscent of the Big 12 and SEC spread offenses where you just get up there, go, throw the short one, and let your receivers do the rest. No huddle for Martin. He's got Williams far left, Denley in the slot to the left, Cox Wesley to the right. Instead, he hands to Lumpkin, who gets outside. Lumpkin cuts another one inside the 10 to the 8-yard line. Tim Scurry with the tackle, but not before he gets inside the 20, inside the Toe Juice red zone. Toe Juice, the ultimate skincare solution.
Tell you what, that kid's skinned a few players tonight the way he's running the football.
Lumpkin gets it again. He's to the 5. He's touchdown. Lumpkin's 4th of the night. He's got great hair. He's got great burst. And he's got great stats tonight. Travell Lumpkin, as the Steele Knights near the scoring average that they've had all season of about 46 points a game.
And once again, Don, coming into this football game, Coach Linoff said his offensive line was probably, you know, the one unit on the field that was the least experienced, and well, you certainly can't tell that tonight the way they've played this football game. Look at this.
Just speed, athleticism, burst, and strength.
And great blocking.
Great blocking up front. Those guys not getting enough credit. 4:39 to play here in the third quarter. The Steele Knights 45, O'Connor 17. We're right back.
captioning of tonight's game is brought to you by Air to Recovery.
Check out the hardware we're going to be giving out later tonight. If you're looking at tonight's trophies, these are going to be awarded to tonight's winning team and our player of the game. The trophies custom made by our good friends at Monarch Trophy, longtime supporters of Church's Chicken Thursday Night Lights. Need them to make you a trophy? Just call 210-344-3777. Charlie and Kathy Drago, some of the best people you'll ever meet, run Monarch Trophy, and we appreciate them joining us for another season of Thursday Night Lights. The pop-up kick from Steele is going to bounce right there and out of bounds, and the flag flies late.
Yeah, if it wasn't touched, that's a penalty.
It's got to go 10 yards. I was going to think it was going to fall in there, and Steele had a chance to recover it.
After the kickoff, it will be possession, 1st and 10 for the Panthers.
All right, so there was a procedure call against Steele, so they'll give him 5 yards there, and the Panthers will take it over right there at the 39-yard line. See Scott Lenoff anxiously pacing the sidelines. I know kids say, hey, Coach, we're up 45-17. What's the big deal? Coach is thinking about next week and the week after that and the week after that, the state championship game, and how you can't win when you have that many penalties jumping off sides. And a little jet sweep to the outside. He's a speedy number 85 for the O'Connor Panthers.
Victor Edward. First touch of the night, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, diminutive little guy, but boy, did he have a burst. The jet sweep. Made a nice move and picked up major yardage inside the Steele territory. 4:20 and ticking here for the O'Connor Panthers. Sanchez back in at quarterback. Throws to the near side. He's got a man caught down to the 30-yard line. Still on his feet. Fighting inside the 30 is Jalen Hughes. So here comes O'Connor.
I mean, if you're Coach Molesky, there's no doubt you have to be enjoying this with your offense. Being able to move the ball here really since, about the second quarter on.
Yeah, against a very, very good football team.
Oh, absolutely.
Doing a nice job of mixing up the play calls as well as the O'Connor staff. We've got more movement up front. I think it's offsides again as play goes for a loss. But again, another offsides against the Steele Panthers, and they may set a record tonight for offsides penalties against their defensive front. 10 penalties for 49 yards, and Lenoff is furious.
No, teachable moment. You don't want to go into next week thinking you don't have anything you can prove on.
Watch the football, gentlemen. Snap to Sanchez. Sweep coming this side. Trey Patterson on the carry, gets to the 20.
And Henry Willoughby, the junior defensive end. How about the pursuit there from the backside to come all the way across the field to make that play?
Sets up 2nd down and 1 for Sanchez. He's got Jamonte Edwards in the backfield with him, a young man that's got great potential. They hand it to him. He sticks his nose in there and picks up the 1st down. Jamonte Edwards has got 170 yards and 3 touchdowns on the season. 153 of that coming last week against Alamo Heights in that big shootout game. A young man who had a fantastic junior start to his junior season before he tore his anterior cruciate ligament. Coaches say he's going to have somebody looking at him before it's all said and done. Sanchez got a quarterback draw, kind of broke down. He ran for his life up the middle, picks up a first down inside the Toe Juice red zone. Toe Juice, the ultimate skincare solution, Chuck.
I think I've heard that a time or two tonight. I'll tell you what, that kid's got a nice little burst too, doesn't he? I mean, he saw that little opening, a little crease, and very well got down the field quickly.
Talk about the Steele athletes. O'Connor's got a few really good athletes of their own. You got some guys that can run it, throw it, catch it.
And they're big, Don. I mean, you know, Steele, this might be the biggest team they see all year, not just, you know, here in San Antonio, but beyond.
Try to run that sweep again. This time, Jalen Jackson snuffs it out. Mark Jackson right there with him. As Molesky signals in more calls and a big third down here for the O'Connor offense. Yeah, we talked earlier about big guys up front. For the O'Connor Panthers, just enormous size.
Yeah, and they've really held their own here the last 3 or 4 drives.
Sanchez throws over the middle, got a man. Kerfis just saw it go right through his hands. May have felt the presence of Stearns there, the safety, the sophomore.
That's good to see he's back in there because he got a little dinged earlier in the ball game, but let's see, it didn't affect his aggressiveness on the play whatsoever.
And how about this, Chuck? Coach told us that Martin had the ability to be better than Armstrong or Malcolm Brown. Said the same thing about Stearns. He's got as good a chance to be better than Stockton and Stearns, his big brother. Field goal attempt, spotted at the 21, high kick, right down the middle and good. And that's Michael Lissy. Good from 30 yards, and O'Connor cuts the lead to 45-20 with 54 seconds to go in the third quarter. Lissy's been solid tonight.
Indeed.
Doing a good job of what his coaches want him to do, both from the PAT perspective, the kickoff. They've asked for that short pooch kick, and then with a couple of field goals. David Molesky still coaching down there. That's a coach. Sometimes guys are just born coaches, and he's one of them. Here's their schedule. They lost to Reagan, a very good Reagan team in week 1. Beat Alamo Heights last week in that shootout that I told you about, 60 points. They put up 20 tonight against a very good Steele team, and then another tough one with Johnson. And then they start their district schedule at Jay, Marshall, Clark, Brandeis, Holmes, and then there's that play-in game late on November 6th. Tough district, and that's why you play games like this in the non-district, the Reagans, the Johnsons, and the Steeles of the world, so that you're ready for that district schedule. And we got a timeout. Steele didn't like the lineup, and I think O'Connor may have been thinking onside there again.
I mean, think about it, Don. You got, you know, we talked about the number of sophomores that are playing here tonight for O'Connor, and then they've even got a freshman starting, number 75, Brandon Brown. Imagine the speed of the game if you're a freshman playing varsity football, and obviously he's certainly got the body to do it. Talked about it earlier,
Yeah.
6'4", 6'5", 285 in that region.
285 as a freshman.
Right, but I mean, think about how much the game is going to slow down for him after playing a team like Steele here tonight.
Yeah.
I mean, 2 or 3 weeks from now, this kid's going to be, he'll be ready to join the Green Bay Packers if they need some help.
Yeah, absolutely. And as we said earlier, his comes from a great line of offensive linemen. His big brother, Balin, plays at Texas Tech. He's been a 3-year starter there. 14 years old, 285 pounds.
Yeah, mom and dad are sitting right underneath us, and they got another one on the way apparently at some point.
Yeah, there's a third grader down there that looks like he's in the 8th grade. Might be related, might be the youngest one yet.
Yeah, and I guess their grandfather played 14 or 15 years in the NFL. So that's some outstanding bloodlines in that crew, no doubt.
How about the catch by Stearns? Just showing great athletic ability to go run that down. And here comes Xavier Martin. Number 1, an impressive young man, already college recruiters all over him. I don't know if his early pledge to Texas Tech will keep the phones from ringing, because people are still looking at him because he's getting better by the minute. Chuck, you talked about it earlier in the broadcast, to see the growth that the young man makes from practice to practice. I was expecting a speedy running quarterback with perhaps his weakness being his arm, and he proved that wrong on the very first ball he threw tonight, and he hadn't stopped.
No, I mean, he's definitely thrown more than he's run it, and that's been kind of the credo the whole season long.
Right up the middle. Nice pickup of about 7 yards, as we're getting some of the other contributors carrying the football. That was Brendan Brady.
And that's what I like about what Coach Linoff is continuing on at Steele. You know, I mean, there's no doubt this is a dominant team. We've seen it all on display tonight, but they don't run away from the fact that their goal is to win the state championship. When they took the field for the first time this year, that was the goal. But, you know, Coach Linoff wants everybody to know, too, you know, make no mistake about it. It's tough. I mean, you don't do this overnight. That every week is a season unto itself, and that their motto is brick by brick. I mean, sure, they want to go out and do it, but you don't do it just in one ball game or in 2 weeks. But, you know, winning state isn't the only value that he wants his kids to get out of it, and he knows that they aren't just going to get out of that if they ultimately end up and go do that. You know, they're learning important, valuable life skills, accountability, growth, all those things. So, you know, get a little bit of everything here at Steele High School.
They lead at 45-20. We're moving on to the fourth quarter when we come back on Church's Chicken Thursday Night Lights. Welcome back to Church's Chicken Thursday Night Lights. It's 45-20 and time for our Wilkes Air Conditioning third quarter highlights. And watch the stop and go here. Bryson Dinley. And still has the Jets to pull away from the kid who was already running in full speed. And then Lumpkin scores his fourth touchdown of the game. And that brings us to 45-20 as the Steele Knights first teamers are still in there. Cox Wesley splits right. Dinley comes in motion to that same side. O'Connor shows blitz. And that forces Xavier Martin to maybe change the play. And both linebackers fake it and stay back in coverage. And that blitz call forced Martin to throw the quick slant to C.J. Williams, and he one-hopped it, and so it'll bring up fourth down. This is their first punt of the football game, and it comes with 11:55 to play in the fourth quarter. Doing the punting for the Knights is Brendan Brady, who's had a couple of carries at running back. Back to receive it is Millard Bradford, the wide receiver. Nice high kick. Bradford fair catches it and then takes a few steps, but no flag, and so we'll go to break with our score: the Steele Knights 45 and the O'Connor Panthers 20. Welcome back to Church's Chicken Thursday Night Lights. 11:45 to play. First down and 10 for the O'Connor Panthers. Maxwell steps up in the pocket, throws for his man, and it's almost intercepted, and taking a massive shot across the middle is Trey Patterson. We hope he's okay. He's still down. He went up to try to catch that ball over the middle. And actually, the man who hit him is shaken up as well, and I think that might be Stearns.
Yeah, Stearns has been really laying the wood all night long, and man, that was some kind of collision, Don.
Let's go to break. We'll come back and update their condition when we come back. And we're back. You're looking at Caden Stearns, who's okay, and so is Trey Patterson after this big collision across the middle. Patterson going way up in the air, and those two just met in midair, full speed. Both guys kind of shaking it off. They both walked off under their own power. Second down, inside handoff on a little bit of draw to Edwards. Edwards has room, hurdles the man at the 50 to the 45 and out of bounds. A great play by Jamonte Edwards.
I've been calling his name all night, Don, but just to finish up the last play, you know, we talk about the two gentlemen, the two young men that were involved in the last collision, both sophomores. So, you know, they've got some ability, obviously, to play on the varsity level, but as we take a look at this run, I mean, boy, instant credibility in your own clubhouse, right? When you got two sophomores balling out like that, one guy knows he's going to get a hit going for a football, and then the other guy laying the lick. I mean, there's a reason why those two young men are on varsity.
Absolutely. Good for enough for Gold's Gym first down for O'Connor. As Maxwell takes the snap, hands again to Edwards. That time he's dragged down, maybe at the line of scrimmage, maybe a gain of 1. Mark Jackson in there, and with a couple of his teammates. 94 has been playing great as well. Big Josh Crossland, 36 tackles and 6 sacks a year ago, and he takes up a lot of space on that interior defensive line. Steele just keeps running athletes out there on the field.
Yeah, and I think, too, what Coach Linoff is trying to do, I mean, he's still got a lot of his studs in there. I mean, he's trying to build some stamina for these kids as they go forward into the season. They really haven't played a whole lot here in these first 2 ball games because the scores kind of got lopsided early in those games.
Second down and 9. Maxwell's running up the middle. He picks up 5. Or he's brought down at the 40-yard line.
We talked about that being one of the keys in this ball game, that he really wanted his guys to have to play 4 quarters tonight and try to build some endurance for the season.
Gotta like the moxie of that young man, Clayton Maxwell, the senior.
Yeah, doing really well. I mean, this is his, you know, first chance to start at the varsity level, and he's certainly making the most of his opportunities.
All right, big play here, 3rd down and 5 for Maxwell. He's got 2 receivers split to his left. Fakes the handoff to Edwards, and now he's running for his life. Rolls right, fires, and it's incomplete. And it'll bring up 4th down at the 40. Interesting call here, down 45 to 20 with 10 minutes to play.
Yeah, I think you got to go. And again, that was a really nice play by Maxwell, kind of baiting the defender to take a shot at him, and you know, just kind of was able to use his feet, be a little shifty, and still get the ball away downfield. But yeah, they're looking at about 4th and 5.
Of course, they capitalized on an earlier 4th down play where they scored a touchdown from Maxwell to Tapia. Tapia split wide left at the very bottom of your screen. Maxwell's going to look that way. Instead, he fires and it's picked off. Big Mark Jackson with the Oski. Big Mark Jackson to the 30, to the 20. Touchdown! Steele Knights, and the kid who's committed to Texas A&M goes 59 yards. We've seen his size, we've seen his speed, and then we see cat-quick reflexes with the pick right there.
Jefferson. Yeah, just when you think you've seen it all, right? Reading that one like Al Bundy reading Biggins magazine.
And not only that, but the way he had to turn his hands to the inside to make the catch shows some fantastic dexterity by the young man. Wow. You think they'll turn him into an outside linebacker at Texas A&M and rush him off the edge?
I don't know. They got center fielder, too.
Myles Garrett already there playing defensive end. They've got a couple of national top 100 recruits playing DE. This kid's going to fit right in. 52-20, Steele over O'Connor. 9:48 to play when we come back. Welcome back to Church's Chicken Thursday Night Lights. Lots of smiles over on that Steele bench. I think Mark Jackson's been congratulated by all 80 players on the team, support staff as well. Big fella making the play. I would say the play of his life, but you know what? He makes those every week. Now, finally, fatigue sets in for just a second.
No, I think he's faking. I think he's probably ready to play another one. Pretty impressive performance tonight, Don. I'm not going to lie. I mean, you know, we're I think equally as impressed with what Judson did a week ago, and it just seems like, you know, obviously it's still very early in the season. It's kind of hard to read. You don't know what's going to happen. I mean, last year at this time we were talking about Judson, and just about everybody was writing them off, and then they ended up being the last team standing. But we've seen some mighty fine performances here on Church's T&L so far this year.
Absolutely. What a schedule we've got this season as the kick goes out of the back of the end zone, and O'Connor will take over at their 25 with 9:48 to play.
And
Let's go down to Mike Hernandez on the sideline. Sorry, Chuck.
Well, guys, we're just looking at the O'Connor sidelines here. You know, even though they're down 52-20, they're very focused. They have not panicked, and it appears they're going to keep on. There's no quitting this team. One of the things I have noticed, though, they have repeatedly ignored a slot back. They get a guy in the slot, and the defensive safeties from Steele are off him about 15-20 yards, and they're not covering him. They're not taking advantage of that throw. You can see it right now. If you look on your screen there, you see the slot, and number 13 is about 20 yards away from him. But they're not throwing to that particular back.
Well, Mike, I tell you what, sometimes when you have 42 across from you and you throw that little slant and you know he's going to drop into zone coverage, he went 59 the other way. But you're right, he's leaving him a hole right there.
Yeah, he is, and that's been consistent. And if he had thrown into that slot right there, he'd have probably gotten 8-10 yards out of it. But it's something in their scheme, because this has been something they've been giving him a look all night, so they just haven't taken advantage of it.
Mark Jackson's finally getting a little bit of a rest there on the Steele bench, as the Panther offense has a keeper by Sanchez, who picks up big yardage, close to a first down.
I'll tell you what, he doesn't run with any fear, does he?
No, neither one of them. Both these quarterbacks are gutty. You wouldn't say that they're, you know, five-star athletes, but man, they both just are smart and get everything out of what they have.
I mean, and they just attack.
Yeah. No fear. Gotta like the way David Molesky's teams handle themselves now. They're playing Goliath, basically, and they're not afraid to sit there and trade punches.
No, you know, and I got the feeling talking to him this week, too. I mean, there was a sense of calm. I mean, I think he knew what he was going up against tonight, but again, I don't think anybody understands the process as well as David Molesky does, you know? I mean, he knows he's got a young squad, and that, you know, sometimes you got to take your lumps, but again, there's enough positives, Don, in this game. I think that they've shown, especially, you know, moving the ball on offense, that, you know, they're going to build their house brick by brick, too.
Victor Edward cut the little slant from Sanchez. Threw a nice ball on the slant, like I said. Gold's Gym first down. Inside handoff, spinning away and picking up about 4 is George Gonzalez.
Yeah, Steele with a few more backups now in on defense. But again, talking to Scott Lenoff, earlier this week, you know, for him to say something to the effect of, you know, we're talented again. It's as talented a team as we've had, but to be as deep as we are, I don't know. You know, that's saying something. I mean, he really feels like this team is stacked beyond just, you know, the 22 guys that are going to play on offense and defense.
I tell you what, Sanchez got the defensive line to jump again. Flag finally flies.
Yeah, I'd be curious to see what both of these quarterbacks are doing with the cadence tonight. Because whatever he's doing or whatever they're both doing.
It's 11 penalties against Steele for 54 yards, and I would venture to say that 9 of the 11 have been offsides. But whatever they're doing, you're right, it's effective. And if you're playing in that north side district and you're scouting this game, you're taking notes, because you're going to tell your defensive front, whatever you do, don't move until that ball snapped, because their quarterbacks are very good with their cadences. Second down and 1 because of the mark off. And then we have another whistle.
Wonder if they're going to get O'Connor this time.
We got him for a delay of game. That's going to back him up 5, and we're right where we started. It's second down and about 6.
That'll give us a chance to talk a little bit more about both these teams going forward as we watch the clock wind to about the 6:45 mark. But I think, Don, it's safe to say, and I don't think I mind speaking for you on this one, that we're pretty impressed with what Steele has done here tonight and getting back to what we talked about earlier about them having goals to winning state. You know, I think it's kind of cool how they approach things here with their leadership. And, oh, it's a good throw and catch right there.
Sanchez doing a nice job throwing to Zahn Ars.
But Coach Lenov said, you know, he wants to see, and he wants from every one of his kids and coaches, how much can you give, how much can you grow, and we'll see where it takes us. But they certainly believe that they have the talent to do anything, and they're going to go step by step and see if they can make it happen.
But first, they're going to take a timeout on the O'Connor side, and we'll take it with them. It's Steele 52, O'Connor 20. Thursday Night Lights returns after this.
Steele better.
Welcome back to Church's Chicken Thursday Night Lights. Steele over O'Connor, 52-20. 6:05 to play, as I said, and the O'Connor Panthers still on the move. They took that timeout because they had the wrong formation on the offensive set. And plays hold up just a little bit. Now they wind the clock, and here we go. Roel Sanchez in at quarterback on this drive for the Panthers, and Steele jumped off sides again, and flags fly as Sanchez picks up about 3. And that might be penalty number 12. Offsides against Steele, and I think Scott Lenoff's head just exploded.
He's ready to put them all on the bus. Yeah.
What in the heck are they doing that we can't sit still? Oh, boy. First down and 5. after they move. Coming in motion, and Sanchez keeps himself, ducks inside. It's close to the marker for a first down, but definitely inside the 20, inside the Vantage College red zone.
Boy, Roel sure is shifty, isn't he? I mean, trying to catch a water bug.
Yeah, good vision, too. Picked the right hole. A lot of second-teamers in there for the Steele defense, and new personnel as well in some positions for Panthers. Sanchez in the shotgun. Hands off inside and fighting for some yardage. He's the 25. And that's Jorge Gonzalez. Had to play earlier.
Like Sean Hasso, the fullback there, finishing off his block. 44. Everybody's still playing.
I got to tell you this, Chuck. You know what my uniforms are? I think O'Connor's got some of the best unis in San Antonio, especially when they go with their all white. But I like this look as well tonight. Sanchez going to keep, rolls to the right, tries to get outside, can't. Now circles back and is down back at the line of scrimmage. You know what makes these uniforms good? The color of gold that they choose for their opponents. I'm telling you, see, it doesn't match the helmet. It's kind of like the Cowboys' silver pants kind of have a tint of green. These are kind of a Vegas gold, as they call it. I like it. It's a clean uniform. Big wide stripes on the pants. Love it. Good, clean look.
Kind of like, you know, fabric or modeling school in New York or something.
Dr. Blackwell of fashion for football. Sanchez fires, got a man in the corner, diving for the goal line, didn't quite get there, but Steve Dadzia down there in the 1 yard line.
Nothing wrong with that ball. Flicked it out there, and it was a great tackle there to keep him out of the end zone as well. But smiles all the way around in our UIW Smile Camp tonight.
Earned a degree of difference at the University of the Incarnate Word. Sanchez, first and goal from the 1. Going to keep it himself. Tripped up and then fights for the end zone. Touchdown! Roel Sanchez, and the O'Connor Panthers add points with 3 minutes to go. Long game, long season. This team never given up, and that's great to see. Great sign of coaching, attitude of a football team and a unit that understands the bigger picture.
Yeah, that was great balance, too, to finish that thing off.
Michael Lissy, who's been perfect tonight, adds the PAT, and it's 52-27. The Steele Knights will try to close it out when we come back to Church's Chicken Thursday Night Lights.
All right, and welcome back again. A reminder to cheer sponsors and school administrators, the San Antonio Sports All-Star Cheer Challenge, powered by CPS Energy, is underway. 4 local high school cheer squads will win the opportunity to cheer at the San Antonio Sports High School All-Star football game, and that's on Saturday, January 9th. So all you have to do is go to cw35.tv and register, okay? So register your squads there, and who knows, you may be cheering on January 9th for the All-Star game. Back to you guys.
All right, thanks a lot, Mike. Roel Sanchez led his O'Connor Panthers on a 10-play, 75-yard drive. He scored it himself. It took 6:13 left, and we've got 3:35 left with Steele in control, 52-27. And how impressive have these Steele Knights been offensively so far this season? 49, 45, and now 52.
Yeah, and really 79 points scored tonight. Saw a lot of big plays, a lot of great plays, and had our highest scoring ball game of the year. So, you know, it was great. We saw some fireworks and some thunder and lightning on the field, and thankfully all the bad weather that we got earlier when we showed up here, you know, 4:30, 4:45, we didn't see any of that tonight.
Scott Lenoff called a timeout, so while we wait for that, it's time for our Mr. Sparky electrifying play of the game. America's on-time electrician, and That Steele defense has been just as good as the offense as Mark Jackson pressured on that play early in the ball game. This was Sanchez's first attempt on the night. He threw a pick. Kind of set the tone defensively for the Steele Knights, and that is our Mr. Sparky electrifying play of the game.
That Mr. Sparky, man, he's a handsome devil. Look at that Cheshire Cat grin.
And you know what? The viewers at home don't realize this, but whenever you hear that sound effect, our seats both vibrate. Also, time to tell you about what's coming up after Thursday Night Lights on the CW35. We've got Beauty and the Beast, and then stick around for Arrow. Chuck's college picture there on the Beauty and the Beast.
Man, you are full of it tonight, bro.
Little squib kick taken by the Steele Knights at midfield, and I'm sure Scott Lenoff will be happy to keep this one on the ground and let that clock tick.
Yeah, Trey Armstrong on the hands team. Nice job there.
Great job by both coaches, both teams. You know, I want to say this as well. Been a lot of talk in San Antonio this week about high school football and sportsmanship, or the lack thereof, and it's just really not indicative of what we see week in, week out, all over stadiums, all over San Antonio. And these are two fine programs, and there's programs all over town that play the game just like this, with class, play it hard, play it great, great coaching, great mentorship of kids as the Steele backups into the game. And we saw a fine one tonight. You see a team getting pretty outclassed from a football perspective in the O'Connor Panthers, but their offense and their defense never gave up. They put points on the board late. They stayed in it. They see the bigger picture, and they keep fighting without frustration. And at the same time, you see Steele is looking for a state championship, not running it up, not keeping in their stars, or letting everybody play. And it's what we see week in and week out in San Antonio.
Yeah, we're pretty spoiled. I mean, a lot of great coaches. And, you know, Don, we've talked about this before. I mean, the talent level that's grown here in this city is, you know, as we get bigger and you know, just it's really, really something to behold. And I would be absolutely stunned. You know, Steele's going to end up being in the postseason. And, you know, everybody's going to look at O'Connor's 1-2 record. But I know both of us will be shocked too if these guys aren't a playoff team by year's end too.
Yeah, I would love to see Steele and Judson. If that game pops up on the schedule, get tickets early. Take your kids out and see that football game. October 23rd is when it's on the schedule, and that'll be a fun one. Out there in Schertz-Cibolo at Lenoff Stadium. I'd like to coach at a stadium named after your dad. No pressure.
All right, and what a great guy he was, especially to this broadcast. You
Absolutely.
know, early on when we were starting off, Coach Lenoff was one of the chief guys that helped launch this thing.
Robert and Glenda, his wife, Glenda Lenoff, who held down that Clemens athletic department for years. Always fun to go out to those practices out at Clemens in those days, the family atmosphere. And tell you what, Scott learned from the best when he learned from his mom and dad, and no surprise that he's done such a great job winning here at Steele after all the great coaching that his dad did in all those years at Clemens in that district. .116 to go. Steele ready to put the cap on this one, and not before we give you our Dixie flag banner play of the game. And watch this again one more time. Stop and start, and still outriding the guy who's running full speed. Bryson Denley taking it to the house. One of many touchdowns for the Steele Knights tonight as they are pulling away, hanging half 100. 52-27 with a $1.16 to go, and that stutter step, very, very impressive. O'Connor still fighting to the finish. Nice pickup there.
Yeah, it's interesting, Don, you talked about Coach Lenoff and his dad. And, you know, he admitted that there are some days he does feel pressure to win at Steele based on, you know, what was there in front of him, before him, and all that stuff. But, you know, he wants to keep the program near the top, but stress that it helps that he's had the coaching staff that stayed generally intact, and that helps. But, you know, you've got the 11 coaches that have been with you through a lot of stuff together, winning, and, you know, obviously not a whole lot of losing, but the expectations, no doubt, come from within, and they expect great things not only from their staff but their kids as well, and they are doing some great things at Steele High School.
And look at this little guy fly. He's had a big game tonight. Still cutting back down the middle and across the 40-yard line is number 85, and that's Victor Edward. And we've seen Victor make a couple of big plays tonight. 40 yards right there. He may not be 5'4", 150, but look at him go.
Yeah, I think Victor's making a bid to get a couple more touches next week. Check him out.
In and out of traffic.
And this is going to do it right here.
Last snap of the game for Maxwell and the O'Connor Panthers. Why not give it to him? He looked great on the last play, and now he's going to cut back one more time, and that'll do it. The Steele Knights defeat the O'Connor Panthers 52-27 here at Dub Ferris Stadium on the Northside Independent School District. Teams are lining up to shake hands, and we've still got much more to go. We'll hand out our Monarch trophies and give it to our team and our player of the game when we come back on Church's Chicken Thursday Night Lights.
Welcome to the Church's Chicken post-game report, presented by Baptist Emergency Hospital.
And we're back, Church's Chicken Thursday Night Lights. Steele Knight fans very happy about what went down tonight, and both teams meeting in the middle of the field for some student-initiated prayer as both teams huddled up. Always good to see that sportsmanship between both teams. And now the Steele Knights will come over and huddle up for our T&L crew as Mike Hernandez prepares to hand out the Monarch trophies. Again, I'd like to thank Monarch Trophy. If you need trophies, call them at 344-3777. Tell Charlie and Kathy Drago that Don and Chuck sent you from Church's Chicken Thursday Night Lights. And right now, somebody's getting a trophy for free. And that's going to be our player of the game, and Scott Lenoff and the Steele Knights. Let's go down to Mike Hernandez. Mike?
All right, great game, guys. How'd it feel for you? All right, you guys were solid offensively and defensively. Everything you did tonight was right on where we would expect this team and the reputation that you have. So congratulations, okay? Great games, both offensively and defensively. A lot of people I could highlight. We have picked one MVP, though, and tonight that goes to number 30, Travell Lumpkin. Congratulations. All right, listen up. Here's his stats for tonight. 14 rushes, 132 yards. That's 9.4 yards a carry, and only 4 TDs. How about that? How you doing, buddy?
I'm good. I'm doing good.
Congratulations.
Thank you, sir.
I mean, you guys went through them like butter tonight. They just didn't have an answer for you.
Yes, sir. And I also like to thank my O-linemen, all my teammates, Trey, CJ, and to all my seniors. Thank you for blocking me. All my O-linemen, defense holding up too. I would like to thank all my teammates because without them, I wouldn't be here right now.
Yeah, you need to take them. You know, your O-line, raise your hand. Yeah, you need to take them out to eat, okay? Take them someplace. That's all you can eat place. Here's a trophy. How about a big hand for number 30? Travell Lumpkin, congratulations. You're most valuable player for tonight's game. Coach? All right, Coach. We talked about this before the game, the fact that you knew that O'Connor was going to come up and they were going to play all 4 quarters, and they did. You guys, though, again, just showing your quality and the quality that you've had for years.
Yeah. Yeah, kids played great. You know, we came out and executed most phases. Great to come out with a win. Great that we got to go back and we got to retool some things. We got to teach some things. We got to fix some stuff. So our kids played outstanding. Came out and quick started, which we always like, and ended up finishing the ball game against a great opponent in O'Connor.
All right, so next week you got a big game.
Yes, sir.
Playing DeSoto. All right. So how do you come out of this game and prepare for them? What's the mindset?
It's what is it? Out of the frying pan into the fryer. I mean, it's playing a great opponent next week. Extremely talented, as talented as anybody in the nation. They've come off to a slow start, but some of that is to the quality of opponents that they've played. So we just get back and we teach off the video, and then we start over, and it's another brick on our house that we got to put on and get ready to hopefully win 16 ball games.
All right, one brick at a time, right?
That's right.
All right, here you go. Here's your TNL trophy for tonight. Winners tonight. Yeah! Steele, 52. 52-27 winners over O'Connor Panthers tonight. Back to you guys.
Mike Hernandez caught in a storm of Steele Knights down there. Great job, Mike. And you could tell, you and I knew exactly what Scott Linoff was talking about. He was talking about those offsides penalties, about cleaning it up. Coaches celebrate wins and kids celebrate wins, and coaches say, that's not going to beat DeSoto next week if we jump offsides 10 times. So there lots of room for improvement, but yet, wow, what an impressive performance by this group of young men right here, who proved tonight again that as the number 5 team in Class 6-8 in the state of Texas, they will have to be reckoned with when it comes to the state playoffs.
Yeah, it's going to take a monumental effort and then a lot of talent and then a well-coached bunch to be able to bump up the Steele Knights. I mean, what a performance. Mercy.
All right, let's look at some of those Window Depot highlights early in the game. Travell Lumpkin, our impact player of the game, scored the first 2 touchdowns for the Steele Knights. They had it going on the air, through the ground and through the air. Superman dive right there. And they have so many weapons. Bryson Denley can hit you with speed just like Lumpkin had. Xavier Martin threw the football extremely well tonight. Young Maxwell, quarterback for O'Connor, hit Jonathan Tapia for a couple of touchdown passes. This Lumpkin kid was hard to top. I mean, we, going into the pregame, heard so much about Bryson Denley, but it's almost like they got a couple of clones. This is almost a cloned play of the earlier one to Tapia. That's his second touchdown. And then Martin throwing over the middle. And then Bryson Denley showing you the stop and go. And that's why you run ropes in the offseason. And quick start and stop and speed. And then Lumpkin burial in for his 4th touchdown. Maxwell picked off by Big Mark Jackson. He's going to Texas A&M on a full ride, and he's hoping to do that in the SEC, showing off why he's one of the top recruits in town. But O'Connor didn't quit. Sanchez went in for the touchdown, and the Panthers, with a lot to be proud of, looking Goliath right in the eye tonight and throwing punch for punch with him. Final score 52-27, and Chuck, stats would line up about like you would expect.
Yeah, but honestly, look at O'Connor. I mean, they were able to tighten that up towards the end of the game, and really, after the slow start, got some things going offensively, and over 400 yards of offense for them too. So a lot to look forward to for the O'Connor Panthers as they get set to play in zone play.
And a lot to look forward to for Church's Chicken Thursday Night Lights. We tell you we've got great schedule this year, and we're looking forward to moving down to the new and improved Rock Pile. We're taking a week off. We've got a bye week next week, but then we've got Harlandale and Highlands. And then as you look at the rest of the schedule, Brack and Sam Houston back out here to Northside for Warren and Brennan and Stevens and Taft. And we're back downtown with McCullum and Highlands. Judson plays for the 2nd time this season on Thursday Night Lights on October 29th against Canyon. And then we got flex scheduling in high school football because we'll have the play-in game for the Northside School District playoffs on November the 5th. So a great schedule, our best schedule yet on TNL, Church's Chicken Thursday Night Lights. Steele over O'Connor tonight. And we're glad that you were with us on Football Night in America. For Chuck Mikatinik, stats man Mark Lieberman, Chris Kotfus, and a crew, we couldn't do it without you. Our final score again, 52-27. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you next time on Church's Chicken Thursday Night Lights.